Hang on here, Philip. Why have you moved me around here? Come on now. Let's play. Yeah. Now, come on. I know you're the Godfather, but I didn't know you had that much power to move the streams around. Hello, welcome everyone to Thfc Till I Die. The band is back together. as Brad is, the band is back together. We all love around the grounds on the Saturday, where Brad looks for Belly Brig Rovers.
Looking forward to their season.
Goes and looks for some stupid team from Scotland that we've never heard of, and I'm just here, just ready to keep the peace, debate between these two, because these two could go on talk about politics, the moon landing already. Did Philip rarely run for president of Ireland? We should never know. But anyway, Mr. Brady, how are you? Mr. Tom Jones of the Irish World. How are you this afternoon, sir?
It was all right till you mentioned that. I'm just hoping and praying here Nottingham Forest can get an equaliser against the Unmentionables, but they're running out of time here at the minute. So
I don't know. They've got another 4 minutes to go. There's 7 minutes overtime to be played. And Brad, you're back. It's around the grounds. Brad,
yes, I know.
Let's all have a party.
It's been ages, Brad, but only 12 weeks.
Yeah. Brad has been telling us actually in the background of his new work arrangements. 2 days on, 5 days off, and he's a party animal. So how are you, Brad?
I'm good, thank you. Good, thank you. I'm just interested to see this this game, that there's 7 minutes of injury time, and I think that's going to be the thing this season.
Yeah.
I think the thing directed is that when the goal goes in, the referee stops his watch, and he doesn't start it again until the game kicks off again, because they used to add 30 seconds. So... which I think is a good idea, to be fair. I know all the players are moaning, we've got to play more football now. It's like, what?
Tough shit. We'll welcome everyone in, and then we'll get people's thoughts of the season ahead. Brad, who you think is going to come up from the championship. We'll get your thoughts as well on that. But big up to Chris. I go and bar, big up Chris. Big up everyone.
Hey, Chris.
Big up Chris. How you doing? We've got the man himself, Mr. Dan Davenport.
Hey, Dan.
Big up Dan. Proper legend. I tell you one thing. This man, when he comes on, always cheers me up. I could be having a crap day, and Dan will come out, and it bless him, he's brilliant. So big up, Dan. Say, yo, Dermot, Phil, look, and Brad. Do you want to read this one out, Phil? I can never get your man's name right, so I always get mixed up. So
this might be too cheerful. Yo, Dermot and Phil, Lukaku has been mentioned as a possible striker to purchase. I personally would go for Vlahovic. Personally, I would go for the lamppost outside my house before I go for Lukaku. To be honest with you, £300 a week for a standalone tree. No chance. No.
That lamppost, I've heard it all now.
The lamppost is too expensive, Phil. Too expensive.
Apparently, the lamppost was asking for £500 a week, Philip, so we can't afford that.
An electric player, really lights up the game. Really lights up the game.
Forrest nearly equalised. Come on, Forrest. Anyway, big up, Dan. Dan, we will get you on a podcast or something like that one week. We'll sort it out for you. We will definitely get you on that, because you really are. You're like KVP. You bring happiness and joy when we're having a dull day. The pair of you really are legends, really are Spurs legends. We've got Carl Simpson. Afternoon, gents. Afternoon, Carl. How are you doing? Don't worry, Carl. The Cockle Clock podcast is back tonight at 9. Myself and Mr. Brady are going to do the podcast, and we're also going to look ahead to the Brentford game tomorrow, which we are doing a watch along, and also we've got a new show 10 o'clock Monday night. Philip will tell you about that later. We've got Steve D. Big up, Steve D. It's his afternoon, a few fist pumps. Boom, boom. There you go. We've got Daniel Sandoval. Afternoon to all. One love. Yeah, one love. Yeah. Wasn't that a song back in the day?
I've got the Orient game ticked to watch how Orient are getting on here. So
we got David Ginola. God, we've got David Ginola watching the
Rotherham.
Yeah. Brad, all I'm going to ask for you, was it worth it? That's all I'm going to say. You're worth it. That's all I'm going to say with that thing.
I'm always worth it because I'm quite cheap, really.
Yeah. So. Between the three of us, actually, no offense, Brad, don't take offense to this. I went to get my hair cut the other day, and the barber said you're going bald on top, Dermot. So between the three of us, we could be called the receding hairline trio of the Spurs community.
Well, mine is not quite as grey as you two, but it is starting to go that way. And I'm getting to the stage now where I'm thinking I might as well shave it all off, just disguise the bald spot. But that's still there.
Don't talk about grey hairs, Brad. You're making me jealous now. You're making me jealous. Dan says, I would love that. I love chatting to you guys. Well, big up, Dan. You really are a big fan. I've got Dan Dermot. Are you and Phil going to do some watch-alongs for the Ireland World Cup matches? Do you know what? We may well do.
Good idea. Yeah.
We may well do. I think we will, actually. I think we will.
Yeah.
Watch Ireland win the World Cup.
It might be awkward if it clashes with Spurs game, but I don't think it probably will. It should be okay. No. That's in September. So, yeah.
I think we will.
We're going to win the World Cup anyway.
We could rope Brad in to do some of them as well, you know.
Get my expert analysis on rugby,
yeah. We might make you an honorary Irishman for the day as well. We'll find something.
It depends who Ireland are playing. If they're playing England, that ain't going to happen. But yeah, it's that could be my second team.
Yeah,
I don't think England will do that well anyway. But
no, to be fair, Brad, if we can make Jack Charlton an honorary Irishman, I think we can push the boat out for you, Brad. To be fair,
it's all over at the empty crates. So 1-2-1. Which wasn't as convincing. When I saw they were 2-0 up at half time, I thought, here we go. But
I'll tell you one thing, Brad. I watched it in the second half. Arsenal are not that convincing as everyone making them out to be. You know, Forest gave them
Are they doing their lap of honour yet?
They've got the trophy out. Apparently they're going down Seven Sisters Road with an open top parade with "We Are Crap." So that's the latest we've got. We've got Carl Simpson. Good. I would look forward to the podcast. Also, Richie hat-trick tomorrow. I'm ignoring the haters.
Ooh. Yeah. Can anyone, either you two guys or anyone in the chat, advise me on a good betting app?
Ooh.
Not me, I'm afraid. I don't bet at all.
I would say Sky Bet, but I wouldn't. I actually go to Betfred or somebody like that. Actually, Brad, if I could advise you, some of them got really good deals on at the moment. I don't bet myself. I haven't bet for a long time.
Well, I'm not really one for betting, but I predicted 3-3 for tomorrow, so I thought that'd be some quite good odds on that. So I've got a spare tenner lying around. So I thought 10 quid, 50 to 1. You know?
Yeah. Okay. Well, then
500 quid. You know.
Yeah. Well, let me know that the Premier League games have kicked off. They've all off. Everton and Fulham are 0-0 at the moment. We'll go through the chat and then we'll get on with the games today in the Premier League. We've got Wilt McDonald. Good afternoon, all. I hope we're not going to waste the funds available. Yeah, we'll get on to that later, Wilton.
Of course we won't, Wilton. Of course we won't.
Of course we will. And then Dan says Kane went for 100 million. I saw on the BBC. It seems to be doing the rounds.
Ali Gold.
Euros. They're assuming it's sterling, but it's euros. It's euros.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Ali Gold was sort of saying that he thinks it's 100 million sterling.
So anyway, so it's 0-0 basically, Everett. Coventry have beaten Middlesbrough 3-0 because Arsenal have beaten Forest 2-1. So it's really 0-0 everywhere at the moment. No scores. I'll go through League Two for you. Wimbledon 0, Wrexham 0 in their second game of the season. Borough 0, Sutton 0, Bradford 0, Colchester United 0, Gillingham 0, Accrington Stanley 0. We've got Harrogate 0, Forest Green 0. We've got Mansfield 0. Morecambe 0.
Ignore those other teams. Look at that scoreline in my phone.
I can't see it's black.
Actually, Manchester City under 21s 0. Tottenham Hotspur under 21s 5.
Wow. Fuck. Go boys.
Go boys.
Yeah. Mind you, the under 18s lost 4-0 to Villa. So we're 5-4 up on aggregate.
Big up for Luton today, back in the Premier League, back in top flight football for the first time since your man goes around corners with the RAC and the AA. So they're 0-0. Sheffield United, Palace. Do you know what? What do you guys reckon, Pat? What do you reckon? Do you reckon Sheffield United could get a point here?
It's you know what? It's early in the season, isn't it? And games early in the season always don't go as you'd expect them to go. So yeah, why not? If anyone wonders why I take my glasses off, is because I need to take my glasses off to see my telly, but put them back on again to see the screen. So
we've got Simpson saying here, I hope Barry Lane falls over Thomas Muller's outstretched foot in the change rooms and pulls a hammy. And we've got Wayne Bonner says, "Go on, the youngsters, have it. You're streaming tonight." Yeah, we are 9:00. We're back. Me and Phil are back with the clock podcast. Sorry.
Did anyone see the picture of the mural with was painted over one of our own? Was that true, or was that just a mock-up?
I think that's a mock-up, personally. Yeah, all the games of the Premier League are 0-0 at the moment. Ipswich, Stoke 0-0, Millwall, Bristol City 0-0, Preston 0, Sunderland 0, Rotherham, Blackburn 0-0, Southampton 0 against Norwich, Watford 0 against Plymouth, and West Brom 0-0 against Swansea. Look, it's great to have the Premier League back, guys, isn't it? It's great to have all the leagues back. There's nothing like 3:00 on the Saturday, is it, Brad?
I know. I'm so disappointed we don't get many Tottenham games at 3:00.
No.
On a Saturday, but that's the price you pay, I guess, for being popular and being on TV all the time.
Philip, it's 3:00 on the Saturdays. There's nothing quite like it on the Saturday, is it?
No, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and today is probably one of the. Well, with Spurs, I know we're on Sunday. We're not going to have many Spurs games on a Saturday, as Brad rightly says there. It's a bit of a shame, But
there is one.
Yeah, it's good to have it back, though.
There is one good thing, because we're not playing on a Thursday night. We won't have our games moved because of that. So that's a good thing.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah.
And can I just make the point here? It's the first Soccer Saturday, or the first Soccer Saturday with the Premier League that hasn't got Jeff Stelling as the.
Do you know what? I was just saying. Yeah, that's a bit. He's joined Talk Sport, Jeff Stelling.
Yeah.
Has he really?
Oh. Yeah,
we have
so much retiring.
Now, I've taken the scoreboard off because I think it's better with the three of us on the screen. Let us know if you want the scoreboard back on.
Well, I'll tell you what I've done, Dermot. I've highlighted all the relevant games on my phone. So as soon as the score comes in, I'll have it,
Yeah.
There's a goal at Southampton.
Southampton.
Yeah. Norwich has scored. Norwich have taken the lead. Norwich Sargent, the scorer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Southampton
Norwich 1, Southampton 0. Wow, that's the first goal of the Saturday, actually.
And like the fool I am, I suddenly realised that the Championship.
Yeah. But that's the first goal of the 3:00 kickoffs, actually.
Yep,
so Norwich have scored the first goal. Philip, you going to say?
Yeah, Bonnie Rig Rose are playing today as well, so have them score. See how they
get it. Lee Richards says City hardly had to break sweat last night. I'm afraid those oil-rich states are turning the Premier League into a zombie league. What's the point if everyone knows who the champions are before the ball is kicked?
Yeah,
it's very true.
But you know something?
Yeah,
City weren't that impressive last night. They were okay. Burnley really gave them a good game despite the scoreline. Burnley put it up to them, and
I think this season the league will be quite even from about second place down.
Yeah.
I think Man City will. I mean, you put your money on them, wouldn't you, really? I did like his press conference where he said, we won't win the treble. I thought, does that mean you're going to play weakened teams in the Cups?
I'm just letting you know, Derby have taken the lead against Burton, James Collins after 7 minutes, and Wraith Rovers are taking the lead against Morton, Jack Hamilton after 6 minutes. So that is the latest from everywhere. We've got Audio Austin. Hey, lads, what's the crack? The crack is good. We've got Tequila. Damn, Scum won. I know. Never mind. And also saying Premier League becoming Scottish League, one winner, maybe only two ever in it. I don't know. I have a funny feeling we're going to see an upset this year. Carl Simpson, we'll see more this season with no Europe. That's true.
Yep.
The important game is 2 p.m. tomorrow. 4-0 Spurs.
Wow.
Get in
there. Wayne. I think the big goals.
Tequila says, no, Stellan, no need to watch. You don't need to watch Sky Sports News or Sky Sports. You need to watch Philip. He's the Jeff Stellan of the Thfc Till I Die crew on the Saturday. You can see him there, relaxed, lying on his bed with his arms folded. All he needs is the yellow tie, and he'll be like Jim White. He really will be. He will be Jim White on transfer deadline.
There were some classical moments with Jeff Stellings and Hartlepool, weren't there, over the years?
Oh, yeah.
Just a quick thing. MK Dons have taken the lead against Tranmere 1-0. Morrow East after 7 minutes. Accrington and Stanley have taken the lead against Woking. Lenny after 6 minutes. We've got Newport taking the lead against Notts County 1-0. Seb Palmer, Holden after 6 minutes, and Bristol Rovers and Barnsley. Barnsley have taken the lead. Nick Cadden after 7 minutes. It's still 9 minutes at the Amex Stadium. It's Brighton 0, Luton 0, and St Mirren have taken the lead against Dundee. Joe's Shaughnessy, it's a 7. It's an own goal. So Dundee have scored an own goal. St Mirren are 1-0 up.
And Mark Dawson is doing the Brighton game.
Better without the screen, guys. Would rather hear you bring us the score updates. Grant, we'll do it that way then. That's fine. Get rid of that. That's even better. Is that right with you, Godfather? You know, sitting in the corner there.
This is the new. They got the new studio, haven't they, at Sky?
Yeah.
It's very interesting. It's exactly virtually the same as the BT Sports one had last year.
It probably is the same studio. They probably bought it off them.
Yeah, probably.
We were getting a new studio, but Philip refused to move, so we had to let it go.
You know what, Dan? I think Son might be our captain, and a lot of people. It's interesting what Postecoglou said that about he doesn't. He's like me actually. He doesn't go for this captain stuff. Everyone should be captains, and I'm of the same opinion. At the end of the day, the captain's the guy that holds the trophy up. So you know, I think Son. I mean, he captained South Korea, leads by example. Harry Kane leads by example. So why not? So I think you could be right.
Rangers now won the up against Livingston in the Scottish Premiership.
Oh yeah.
We know what we think of Rangers, don't we, Philip? Tequila says 3. Is Phyllis Stelling? Are you Kamara Domo? I don't know.
No,
Jeff.
he's Paul Merson. You're Paul Merson.
I'm getting rid of you now for that. Fuck off.
That's cruel.
That is cruel. Do you know all I've done for you, Phil? I've brought you into YouTube. I've built you up to the star you are today, and that's the thanks I get. I don't know. Me and Mia will be taking our services elsewhere. You can do your Tom Jones act on your own. We're giving up as the manager.
The thing is, with Carl, what Carl said, that when we watched Spurs, I was slightly ahead of you guys, but I had to keep it like it was real. I had to stay calm when Spurs scored.
Carl says, I'm not watching Sky Sports. I want to see Brad jump up and down and go nuts. Brad, just go nuts. You're grand. And the key,
I go nuts all the time.
I think that was the most funniest bit of TV ever when he went to Kamara. Right, have they scored? And the crowds are going nuts behind them. I don't know, Jeff. Have they? Have they scored? Oh, he's got an illness, hasn't he?
I don't know. Yeah.
Listen, if you do want to, please hit the like and the subscription button. Please do get your memberships that do help us grow. And also, if you want to put in a super chat, it does help. And it really does, doesn't it, Philip? It helps us bring more better systems, better upgrades, doesn't it? We don't get paid for doing this, so anything or every little helps.
The guy doing the Fulham game, is that
Mike Dean?
Mike Dean.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sky must have been desperate. Hartlepool, Jeff Stelling will be doing. He's not. Hartlepool look a 1-0 up against Gateshead. Emmanuel. That sounds like a porn star's name. Emmanuel. To be fair.
Diesel engine or something.
And Queen's Park have got 1-0 up against Arbroath and Barry Hipburn.
I guess what Hartlepool Gateshead, would that be like a local derby?
Yeah. Well, that's in the National League, Hartlepool.
Yeah.
So we've got a super chat here. Big up for Wayne Bonnet.
Wayne.
Big up, Wayne. He says, Basuma for captain, leads by example. Can't argue with that.
Yeah. Can't argue with that.
And he does like him, doesn't he?
He does. We've got Hot God 10. Good afternoon, Dermot, Philip, and Brad. Question. I'll get it right eventually. Do you think VDV will start? Philip, yeah or nay?
No. I think he'll be on the bench.
I always thought you were going to say, I don't know, Jeff. I thought you were going to say
No, it's just from something that Anne said in the press conference. I just get the feeling he won't start and he'll be on the bench.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I'm in agreement with that. I think he'll go. Well, he's gone with Davis in all of the pre-season games, and he hasn't really got much choice at the moment. So I think he'll probably go with Davis.
I'm going to disagree with the Perry, and I will, and I normally do. I'd say he starts. There you go. So there you go, Hot God 10. Big up Wayne though for the super chat. Thank you so much. You really do appreciate it, and you're a member as well. And you've been a loyal member as well with us. So thank you so much. Carl Simpson, Kamara has got axprixia.
Yeah, that's it. You lose your speech, don't you?
I'm settling for a draw tomorrow. Take a point at Brentford would be a very good point in the circumstances. But if we lose, brace ourselves for the mass hysteria for some of our fans and the Spurs hating it on us.
Yeah, I think I'd take a draw tomorrow, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I would. I would too.
I'm still worried. I'm still worried about our defending. We're going to concede goals. We're also going to score goals as well. So, yeah, I think at the moment, as I've always said, I'm still looking at a mid-table finish this season. But I think the future will be good because I think once the players start to play how he wants them to play and they know what they're doing, I think we'll come good, and hopefully we'll spend the money wisely and get some decent players in. But I'm confident about the future. I just think it's going to take time. And
I don't know what you two. We're finishing third. I've already said that. I've got a bet with me.
Hey, look, I hope I'm wrong. I hope we just hit the ground running.
Couple of scores. Harry Smith has been sent off from Sutton for foul play. Colchester have taken the lead against Bradford 1-0. Joe Taylor after 9 minutes. FC Edinburgh are 1-0 up against Queens of the South. Inns Murray 14 minutes. Cheltenham are 1-0 down to Bolton. Dion Charles 15 minutes. Wraith Rovers have got a second against Morton. Lewis Vaughan after 14 minutes. So they're all coming in thick and fast now, these scores now. Still near the Premier League. It still is there. We've got Carl Simpson. How do you know about porn names? Is it because you're assisting Don Dermot? Oh, very funny. Bloody hell. I'm really rolling, Carl. I should learn not to say anything with Carl Simpson in the chat because I know he's going to come out with some big up, Carl. We've got Audi and Austin. Sorry, go on, Philip. Go on.
No, I just noticed something about Mike Dean here. Apparently today is the first day in 27 years Mike Dean won't either be a referee or on VAR.
Really?
And he's looking at the screen for Sky Sports, so he might as well be doing VAR.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
Blackburn have missed the penalty. Smiddix has missed the penalty after 15 minutes. So Blackburn have missed the penalty in their game. So that's still 0-0.
Actually, going what Audio said there, that could be right. Actually, Sanchez.
Yeah,
we have to admit this. Sanchez played well against Barcelona on Tuesday.
Yeah, he did.
I'm hoping it's because he's putting himself in the shop window. I'm not going to be fooled and think, keep him. But yeah, he did play well, so maybe he will start tomorrow. Maybe
he will. We've got Tequila going with 10th with the current squad as today anyway. Fair enough. Hot God 10. I go for Maddison as captain. He is respect of his peers, enjoys responsibility on and off the pitch. He has grown up at a good age, and he'll be the pin-up boy of the club. I think so too. Philip, you have a blink. Is that a goal going in?
Southampton have equalised against Norwich.
I will wait. I will give me 2 minutes. I will come up who has equalised. Wraith Rover. Newport have gone 2-0 up against Doncaster. Will Evans after 14 minutes there. We'll just get in the... Wait from a correspondent from Southampton game to get hold of us. We will let you know. And that's so there you go.
Is Carrier Pigeon hasn't arrived yet?
No, it hasn't actually.
Bednarek.
There's our Southampton correspondent down below, Brad, the man with many fingers in many pies.
And I got excited that when Norwich went 1-0 up because I honestly thought they were in the Premiership. Totally forgot they both got relegated.
Big up, Colin. Manchester United fan. Big up. You're going to lose. You're not going to win the league, but big up Colin anyway. He knows I'm joking. But no, big up Colin. Hope you're doing well, sir. Hope you're doing well, man. And everyone get over to FTSN, full-time Spurs next one, and get Callum up there when he's on next. Colin will be on our shows all season with different shows we're doing, but you will see a lot of Colin always in the chat, a member as well. So we appreciate your loyalty with us, Colin, and you being with us. So big up, sir. Enjoyed the show. We've got Tequila 316. I've always found Wraith Rovers as a great name. I know it's Wraith Rovers, but in my mind, it's a bunch of vengeful ghosts.
Yeah, very big in very big in Mordor, Wraith Rovers.
Raith Rovers have gone 2-1 up now. Morton have got one back. Robbie Moorhead after 17 minutes. And Grimsby have got 1-0 up in League Two against Notts County. Danny Rose after 17. Is it the Danny Rose? Is it not the Danny Rose?
Not the Danny Rose. Raith Rovers will often win matches at the death. You know
that. Wilton's with me. He says, I'm with you, Dermot. I'm shocked. Thank you, Wilton. He says, I think if you have a good start and get another centre-back, I'm looking at second. Fair play to you. I'm on your train. I am
somebody more optimistic than you, Dermot.
Yeah, I'm on his train.
I think the second half of our season will be a lot better than the first half, and that's why I'm hoping that the FA we get some decent draws in the FA Cup, because he's obviously going to take it seriously. We won't have any European football that will hold us down, because those first early rounds in the FA Cup are held on the weekends. So yeah, I'm because let's face it. Remember Pochettino's first season in charge took a long time for them to get together there, and we ended up 5th that season. So, and didn't we reach a League Cup final in his first season? I think we did
actually. Yeah, we did. Yeah, a game that we never won. Notts County are 1-0 down to Grimsby. Yeah, Dagenham and Redbridge nil. Southend won. Harry Cardwell after 18 minutes in non-league. Still not goes in the Premier League. Not
That's
many
a good
goals
name
in
for football. That's a great name for a footballer, Cardwell. You know, when you get yellow, when you get
Harry Cardwell, put it in the back of the net.
Carl says, I love these streams. We all need a laugh. Yeah, it can get these. I love this show because it really can go anywhere, and we're not. It's sort of a show we don't have to do any preparation for. It's just give the update, and we just talk absolute nonsense for about an hour and a half. So something we all love doing. No, don't. Philip, give me a Pollock and after you should be saying. Are they really?
Armstrong.
Armstrong. He landed on the moon, didn't he? He did well.
He did.
Come back from the moon.
Yeah, Neil Armstrong.
Neil Armstrong, yeah. Did he, though? That's a conversation.
Don't start.
Did JFK die? That's another thing as well. That's another thing. Is he still? I wonder if him and Elvis are living on an island somewhere in the Bahamas.
Of course.
Well, if JFK is still alive, he's about 106 at this stage, so I doubt he is.
Did you not see Elvis pushing him around in his wheelchair in Bahamas the other day? There you go.
Oh, I thought that was Father Jack or Father Ted.
No. Elvis was singing to him on all shook up, and he was shaking. So there you go. I'm watching the Donny game on iPlayer. It's my local club. Big up, Colin. The Keeler saying, "Nice one, Philip. At the death, well played."
We have another.
I'm going to watch the Saudi Cup final, Al Nazir versus A Hala Ronaldo Trophy. Yeah.
Maybe at half time I could.
Livingston 0.
Yeah.
Tell my very funny. Well, I thought it was funny story about UFOs. I'll wait till half time.
Oh God! Don't start now. UFOs. What's that?
Yeah, you see the comment leaves, but anyone know what Eric Dyer Insta story is causing the force? Apparently he's unfollowed us. He's back following Spurs again now. So I think that was maybe he was hacked, but he's back following Spurs now. So.
Well, I've asked the question: is he leaving just in more hope than hopefully?
There'll be a lot of suspects, wouldn't there, if his phone was hacked?
Harry Kane.
Some game at Southampton is now 2 each.
Is it really?
Yeah, 4 goals in 25 minutes.
Gabriel Sara.
Can I just say also in the Championship, West Brom got 1-0 up against Swansea. And also, it's Gabriel Sahar has equalised for Norwich. Swindon in League Two have gone 1-0 up against Crewe. I am definitely not going to mention that name. Wrexham have gone 1-0 up against Wimbledon. Elliot Lee after 22 minutes. Wrexham could be a surprise team this year in League Two. I think they could get promotion. Yeah. Ryan Reynolds and the team. But that is the latest. We've got goal in the Scottish Premier League. Yeah, Rangers 2. Just to confirm, it was Joe. Whatever. It was Jose. He scored after 21 minutes.
And there's going to be some goals in the Premier League now because we're at an ad break. So
yeah. We've got Side Dancer 83. Hi, do you think Eric Dyer is going to be sold after his social media stuff has? Right, let me get my teeth in. Hi, do you think Eric Dyer is going to be sold after all the social media stuff he has done, or is it a sweet dream? I hope it's true, but I don't think it is. But I hope it's true. I really do.
Oh,
I've asked the question.
The Rangers goal's been disallowed.
I have asked the question, so I will let you know. If not in this stream side answer, I'll let you know in the podcast at 9. Carl Simpson, I saw Levy was attempting his ET impression in Miami. Dermot knows anything about Area 51. Yeah, I was there last week, and me and Brad and Phil were there last week for sort of a fact-finding mission.
It's next to Area 52.
It is, and we bumped into Elvis, E.T., the big, and a few other. We met a few aliens there. We even met Optimus Prime there, which Brad got very excited. He transformed into a hot tub for Brad, so Brad was in there having a nice with a bottle of champagne, and a few aliens around him enjoying themselves. So there you go. Letter in the post from Brad. I'm suing you.
Searching my name, if that's a word.
Yeah, Brad, I'm suing you.
Oh, my good mate Kev will be happy because Ipswich have taken the lead. So
yeah, and Newport have got a third against Doncaster. Richie Wood, Colin. I don't know.
I had a really good chat with Newport fans before we played them in a cup game. When we were playing at Wembley, it was good fun. They're asking me, "Oh, is Harry Kane playing tonight?" And all this sort of stuff. But yeah, it was good laugh.
Carl Simpson, I think Dyer has been told he's captain and sold.
Could be. Could well be.
I watched that documentary on him, right? And I thought it was interesting, his way, how he's got to football and how he got to Spurs and all that sort of stuff, and his life in Portugal. But they neglected to say how his form had dropped in the last couple of seasons. At the end of it was like he's still a brilliant player. I mean, he was a decent player initially, and he's just dropped form in the last couple of seasons. But they didn't seem to mention that. At the end of it was, wow, this wonderful player. And I thought, wow, I know it's a club thing, and they've got to be,
Big up to Jarula. She says, Son has appointed captain. Well, I'm going to double check that. Just very quickly, Ipswich 1-0 up against Stoke. Luke Wolfender. We've got Walsall 1-0 up against Stockport. Danny Johnson. And then we've got Northampton in League One have gone 1-0 up against Wigan. Sam Hoskins after 24 minutes. So they're all going in, apart from the Premier League, which is 0-0 everywhere. Apart from Arsenal that beat Forest at the lunchtime game. Yeah, Bournemouth, West Ham 0-0, Brighton, Luton 0-0, Everton, Fulham 0-0, so Sheffield United 0-0. Philip, do you miss the days that the first day of the season, it was a full program in the Premier League or First Division at 3:00? Do you know these lunchtime games and evening games and Sunday games and Monday? It doesn't seem like the opening weekend for me. Saturday,
no, you're right.
Everyone playing at the same time.
You're right. Yeah, it is a bit.
It's official.
Yeah, it's got breaking news.
Official. Son is captain. It's the new Spurs captain.
David Ornstein.
Right.
We've got Drew also saying that. Let me say that again. Son has been Romero Madis' assistant. Ooh. Big up Drew. Our breaking Spurs correspondent. So big up Drew. There you got a new job.
Romero and Madder's assistant. I'm quite fond of that. What do you mean by that?
Romero and Madison could be both assistants.
Oh, both assistants.
Yeah.
Yeah, David Ornstein is quite reputable. Heung-min Song appointed Tottenham captain. Christian Romero and James Madison assistants. Decision by Ange Postecoglou and club, and well received by squad. Trio seen as players, characters to bring improved spirit and progress in the new era.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's fairly sound, to be honest.
I think so.
I mean, no matter what you think about,
midfielder or defender as captain, but anyway, a proper, not a forward, but anyway.
Yeah, just go through it quickly. Portsmouth are won against Leyton Orient. Marlon Park 23. So Leyton Orient are losing in League One.
I'm going to try and bring some trivia.
Yeah, hang on there, Brad. Preston have taken the lead against Sunderland. Will Keane, 25 minutes. So Preston have gone 1-0 up. If I hear Kane's name or Keane's name again, I think I'll cry.
I think I'm going to try and bring some trivia to some of the results. Although it's going to be pretty boring, to be fair. Wigan 0, Northampton 1. I've got a mate, Gary, who's a Lib Dem councillor. He's a Wigan fan. And he had tickets for the Tottenham 9-1 drubbing through Wigan. Mm-hmm. And the Wigan refunded all the money that the fans had spent. And Gary didn't even go because he wasn't well that day. So
God.
So, yeah. And Portsmouth is my mate Pete's favourite team as well. So.
I'm pleased for Wrexham, though. Big up Wrexham, 1-0 up against Wimbledon.
Big up. It's always sunny in Philadelphia. Great show.
Yeah. Tottenham out there. I went to Takeobu Park not long ago, Freedom Ridge, moons ago, but they stopped that. Fair enough. Fair enough. Where was the other one here? There was, Dermot is Batman, so I ain't feeling any alien. I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman. I don't know. I think Philip could be Alfred. I don't know who you could be, Brad, the boy wonder.
Obviously.
Obviously. I like how you
I haven't knew. I missed the game, the Matildas. I missed their game this morning, which apparently had an incredible penalty shootout. But no, I haven't seen it. I definitely watched them during the World Cup, but no, I haven't seen the Socceroos.
Lee Richards, I'll just give you an update. Woken up with 2-1 up against Altrincham. Reese, Kurt Grego, Cox, Gillingham have got 1-0 up against Akron and Stanley. Ashley Nadson and Montrose have gone 2-0 up against Anna Athletic. Andrew Stevens after 29 minutes. After 29 minutes. Go on, Brad.
I'd like to ask the chat, who famous is from Woking?
Woking.
Ooh, I'll be back in 2 minutes, Philip. Okay.
Woking.
Take over. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Be a footballer, you know?
It could be anyone. No, it's not.
Woking.
No.
A comedian.
Nope. Think of how well do you know me?
Oh, hang on.
I know Neil Shafton in the chat. He'll know.
Right, that's a good one.
I will give you something for free though. That's where the original War of the Worlds was set in the original book, Orson Welles' book. It was Woking that where it all started.
So H.G. Wells is in Woking, was he?
Yeah. Although in the famous album, Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds, it actually happened in Ealing Common, which is literally behind me.
Okay, nice.
Where Steve Perryman played his first competitive game.
Right. All right. A few more scores there. Gillingham 1, Altrincham, Accrington 0, Ashley Nadishan. Woking 2, Altrincham 1, Cheltenham 0, Bolton 2 now, an own goal by Liam Smith. And Adrionians 0, Partick Thistle 1. James Lyons 31. I'm wondering, what sort of crowds do they get at these Scottish lower league games?
Yeah,
a couple of hundred or 300. I was watching, there was an Irish League match played on a League of Ireland game on TV last night. St. Patrick's Athletic versus Bohemians. It was a sellout, 5,500 people. And that's all the ground holds. But it's great to see Irish soccer doing so well, like that.
That's actually a good crowd, isn't it?
Yeah, great match too. It was nil each, but it was a great game.
I remember back in the day with the football polls, during the off-season, they used to have the Australian games. And they quite literally went to like all the various states, the games, and they'd literally have 200 or 300 people watching these games. So these games, we can win millions of pounds or £1 million or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I do wonder. I wonder what's like supporting one of those lower league teams. I guess you'd have to be from there, wouldn't it? It must be your local team.
Yeah, it would need to be. Yeah. I mean, you probably travel, some team in the very north of Scotland playing down near the English border. You travel about 200 miles and get beat 4-0 and travel home again. They're the real fans. In
the rain, you're right. They are in the rain.
And Preston have equalised against Sunderland. Jack Clark.
Clark.
Our ex-player. Penalty. And Bolton 3-0 up now. He's done okay now. He played well last season.
In all fairness, I think he's found his level. I know, without wanting to sound horrible, I think he's found his level.
It wasn't quite good enough for us now, but he's done okay over there.
We've got Carson.
Come on, Neil. Neil knows who I'm talking about. Who Famous is from. And come on, guys. Shot the video for Solid Bond. Stanley Road. Come on, guys. Someone must know who's Famous from Woking.
I don't know, but I know it's still all 0-0 in the Premier League, apart from the Arsenal result.
This was Ellie's husband. QPR have taken the lead at Cardiff.
Oh my God.
Sinclair Armstrong, 34 minutes. And Oldham have taken the lead against Aldershot. James Norwood after 32 minutes.
And another one of my friends in Australia is a big Oldham fan. So there you go.
We've got the Who. We've got the Keyless saying not in America with Tom Cruise, then Brad. Philip is chilling because he's going to assist Dermot at
night. We have a goal in the Premiership.
We do.
Everton 1, Fulham 0.
Yeah. And also there's another goal. Brighton 1, Luton 0. Yeah.
Sorry, I heard both of you there. Who scored? You do one, you do the other, Philip. So you do the first one.
Everton 1, Fulham 0.
And Brad?
Brighton 1, Luton 0.
Oh. Yeah. I wanted Luton to win.
Solly March has scored for Brighton.
And who scored for Fulham?
But Sky Sports haven't announced the Everton score yet, though.
No, they haven't.
Yeah, it's after 35 minutes, and it's... Let's see who it is now.
Solly March has scored for Brighton. They're 1-0 up against Luton after 36 minutes.
Yeah, they haven't come up with a score yet, which means it could be Michael Keane. The centre back.
I think because they're listening to Dawson talking about the Brighton goal. I think they're all laughing, so I think they all went at the same time. So,
but it still hasn't come up on the Sky Sports thing. It's still coming up 0-0, so maybe it's gone through a VAR check.
Yeah, Merson. Yes,
Merson's. It's Paul Merson's game. He's half an hour behind in on life anyway, so it wouldn't surprise me in the least. You know, he was probably away. He's probably away doing getting what do you call it, a line or something, and he's missed the score.
It's actually been chalked off. Yeah. I'm sorry. I've just checked on something. I put it in the.
Oh, I see. Mike Dean is their referee analysis guy, I think. Yeah.
That's what I mean. He's on VAR again. Can't get rid of him. Now, it's still showing up on Flash Score as 1-0. Oh, no, it's gone back to 0-0. Yeah, foul.
Audio Artisan, Sonny White left or Sonny Freeman. I think tomorrow the
first goal. Brighton got the
Brighton scored the first goal. We've got Sonny wide left or Sonny through the middle, guys. Philip, do you want to go first on that?
Well, after seeing him play against Shakhtar Donetsk, he didn't seem to me to have the confidence to go by players going wide left. Thing is, if we play Richarlison in the middle, that's where he probably end up. But if Richarlison doesn't play tomorrow, I'd play Sonny down the middle.
Yeah. I think it'd be Richarlison because in Postecoglou's press conference he said he was fine. So I'd imagine that's what I think tomorrow's team.
What do you think of the performance last Sunday?
I thought it was good. That's the first game I've seen in this new regime. Yeah, I thought Sonny certainly wasn't one of our better players, but he didn't do anything really bad. I thought Papa Sarr and Udogie looked promising. I thought they could. I'm not going to go overboard because everyone's going, they're going to be great. Wow. But no, they did okay. I think that could be good.
Maddison looked good, didn't he?
Yeah. I mean, we've been missing that since Eriksson left, really. Well, even you could argue since Eriksson had poor form in his last season or two. So yeah, I think that is going to be. It's just such a shame that I don't want to go back to the Harry Kane thing, but you saw that cross he put in. We just got to hope that Richarlison can act the same way. Going back to who we should sign, I'm hoping that we spend the money on decent defenders because I think we could go for, say, Ivan Toney in January.
I'd go for Iman Orban now if we could get him.
Yeah, I would too.
He's not getting goals
really
for fun.
Too.
So, but you know what I think? I think Sonny will take
Philip.
absolute inspiration from this. Go on, David.
So just let you know, Sheffield Wednesday have gone 1-0 up against Hull. Colin Patterson, 36 minutes. Oldham have gone 2-0 up against Aldershot. Brian Dickinson and Chesterfield have gone 2-0 up against AFC Fly.
And
Lean Mansfield on 37 minutes. Sorry, Philip.
And a lady at Sega who's in charge of Football Manager is a Sheffield Wednesday fan. So big up to Anna Downing, who won't be watching, but big up to Anna Downing.
Just thinking that I think this Sunday made captain, that'll go down hugely well in South Korea for a start, selling a lot more number 7s on the back of the shirts. But I think it'll give him also an awful lot of pride to do well. Like Sonny is a guy who wears his heart on his sleeve, and I think because now he's his club captain, I think that'll be a huge boost for him. And I think we might just see the best of him coming up this season.
Yeah.
COVID is coming back with a new strain of SARS, has mutated. COVID is a new flu that we are advised to be vaccinated every year.
It's making a big comeback around me, anywhere around us here.
Do you think, Philip, though, seriously, though, could we be in the position where we were 2 years ago with lockdowns? And do you think we could be heading back there again?
No. I think
people need to get injected. Going to get an annual injection at the flu jab. That's probably what we need.
It is. Yeah, you're right. It's a new flu, effectively, and that was shown by the way that it got less and less deadly as it went on. Which is, you think of it from a virus's point of view. If you're in your host, you don't want to kill the host because then you die as well. So obviously they're not alive. But what I'm saying is it will mutate and evolutionary will kick in. So the ones that don't kill their host will be the ones that survive and pass on to other strains.
Yeah, listen, do hit the like button and subscription button. We're not the only around the grounds on today on YouTube, so pick us. We're the better around the grounds. Please, on our way to 2K. Look, Notts County have equalised against Grimsby 1-0. James Borsick after 40 minutes. Ross County won.
John Bostock.
Yeah.
And Ross County have taken the lead in the Scottish Premier League. St Johnstone 0. Kyle Turner after 40 minutes for Ross County. Still very not a lot goes in the Premiership. Only Brighton are 1-0 up against Luton. Do you know, Paul Merson now talking, Everton are still 0-0 against Fulham. Very quickly on Everton, Philip, do you think they could be struggling again this season?
I don't think they'll struggle as much as they did in the last 2 seasons. But I do think they are a lower, from maybe 15th, 14th, 15th position. That's their level at the moment. I think they will struggle a bit, but I don't think they'll be fighting relegation. I think Sean Dyche will get them playing it well enough to avoid that. But the glory days for Everton are a long, long way off. They really are.
A lot of people seem to be saying that we're going to be the next Everton, which I think is a bit unfair.
I do.
I do, yeah.
Or the next Leeds.
Yeah. If one player leaves, you think the whole thing's going to collapse. It's not.
Philip, you just check the private chat there for a minute. I just sent you something. Question is, can Son be heard? Can Son be heard on his teammates? He comes from a culture of respect, and he may have trouble letting guys have it verbally. Rand, do you want to go on first? Did you look at that?
I think in the modern day, it's almost ceremonial to have a captain. It's, as I say, it's a guy who's going to hold up the cup, or have C on his name. I think Kane wasn't really, didn't seem to be that vocal, but then you hear that he was in the changing room. So the one thing is that Sonny's very passionate about the club, very passionate about his football. So I think if he sees things going wrong, he'll try something. But it's a cliche, but there should be 11 captains out there. It's not like cricket where the captain actually does things. The captain is in football doesn't really. Okay, you could argue back in the day that Danny Blanchflower used to be Bill Nicholson guy on the pitch sort of thing, but don't talk tactics. They don't do any tactics. So,
just very quickly. Salford got 1-0 down to Crawley. Luke Garbett, a 41-minute own goal. So that's the own goal from Crawley. We've got Neil Shafton. He needs to be Roy Keane. Daniel E saying, I think Everton will struggle there. Transfer business, summer screams of a team fighting relegation. I think so too. And Daniel E's going for, I got Luton, Sheffield and United and Everton to go down.
I think, as much as I want Luton to do well, because another mate of mine in Australia is a big Luton fan, I think they probably would be the team that would go down. But then we all said that about Blackpool, didn't we? In their first Premier League season, they did really well, didn't they?
Yeah. Now, Philip, we said earlier Rangers are going 2-0 up. That goal's been chalked off a while ago, so it's still only Rangers 1, Livingston 0.
Yeah, that's right.
You're right up there, Mr. Brady.
Yeah, you're still hanging in there.
Did you read what I put in the private
chat? But it's not copyrighted, so there's nothing you can really do about that, No.
Well, just respond that private chat so we don't talk about it on there.
Yeah.
Lee God says, Lee, it's not a fart in the wind for Enoch to regards to paying the loan for the stadium. PSG, who are state sponsored, wanted to invest with Spurs. It wasn't for the benefit of Spurs. And Ellie says, hello lads, Dermotron, Philip and Bradders. Copyright, you know what I mean. Yeah, we do.
Did anyone think that the female commentator on the England game today at times sounded a bit like Ellie?
Yeah.
I was watching it on our local. I was watching it on RTV, so weird.
Oh, right. Yeah, this is on ITV.
Only Rose have scored 1-0 up against Clyde.
Go, boys.
Come on, Bonnie Rick Rovers. Jason Jarvis after 45 minutes.
We're getting half times now as well.
There's
a new team in Scottish League One called Kelty Hearts.
Yeah.
Or is that just Hearts?
To be fair now, I've got Matthew said, Madrid beating Brian now with Kane. We want that. Neil Shafton. Isn't Tommy Robertson from Luton? He is.
I think he is, yeah.
We've got Daniel Lee. Blackpool still went down, though, they did.
They did, yeah.
Question. Yeah. And Matthew, Madrid is beating Bayern. We want that. It is 0-0 at Luton, Brighton. So that's 0-0. Luton's first game in the Premier League or back in the top flight.
Yeah. Half time's coming in. Oh, look at all! There's been a goal at Southampton. Norwich have taken the lead.
What a
game that is. Jan Rowe. Half time at Bournemouth.
Yeah, Everton 0, Fulham 0. John Rowe 45 into 2 minutes have added on. I fear for Luton this year.
Yeah, I mean,
I fear for Luton this year.
They did very well to get promoted.
Yeah. Ellie wants to know what's the writing on your T-shirt, Philip.
I don't even know what it is. It's an Irish thing. It's a charity. I bought this as there was a charity there, but during COVID, and you paid so much and they sent you a T-shirt. I don't even know what it says, to be honest with you. Guramila, it's thank you in Irish. Sorry, thank you. Yeah. I actually don't even have it on. I got absolutely soaked earlier for a walk earlier on, so I just put the first T-shirt on I could find.
Do you see that team in League Two, Spartans FC? That's a cool name.
Oh yeah. I actually did when I was doing my final. Well, it wasn't my final year. I did an adult final year. I was 24. I actually one of the things I did was
an adult.
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 The last year in Australia is called matriculation, and I did. Yeah. You could do adult matriculation, which I did at 24 because I dropped out of school, and I'd actually studied classical studies was one of my things I did. I actually did quite well. I actually got 84% in the exam. But yeah, the Spartans. If you like your history, learn about the Spartans. Bloody hell, they were it. They were badasses. They really were.
We've got Neil Shafton here. Do you want to read this one out, Philip?
Norwich, the proverbial demotion then promotion club. Yeah, yo-yo club. They're a bit like Burnley. They come up and down all the time.
A lot of half times coming in. Bonnie Rig Roses are 1-0 up in half time. Derby are 1-0 up against Brighton. Bolton are 3-0 up against Cheltenham. Ross County are 1-0 up against Portsmouth have just scored. Kobe Bishop, after 44 minutes, they're 2-0 up against Leyton Orient. Ellie, we've got Michael. We've got, hang on, where are we now? Oh, you've got Daniel here. Luton, only chance of staying up is making their home ground a fortress. To play at that this season, I can see them getting no more wins away from home. Yeah, I can. And Rotherham are just taking the lead against Blackburn Rovers. Often after that game is well behind it, but he scored after 23 minutes. We've got Carl Simpson. The writing on Philip's top is all the ladies love top.
Yeah,
both Spartans. We've got Michael Rogers. Who are you realistically hoping to come in before the window closes? I tell you what, give us a couple of minutes to think about that. I'll give the guys a couple of minutes. We'll get through them. We'll come back to that during halftime, Michael. But that's a very good question. Eddie says, I'm the moon. I'm moonlighting Bradders, LOL. My services are in demand.
Yeah, because I moonlight a lot as well. So
yes.
You know what I saw today? I thought, you know, with all this Harry Kane thing going on.
Sorry. Just very quickly, Peterborough have gone 1-0 up against Charlton. Hector, somebody has scored in injury time. So, yeah.
Cipriano.
Yeah. Sorry.
Anyway, what I was saying there, Mickey Hazard came out with probably the best way of describing the Harry Kane scenario in one quick sentence. He says, the name on the back of the shirt will never be as big as the badge on the front of it.
Yeah. That
sums it up, doesn't it?
My mum asked me this morning on WhatsApp, what do I think about Harry Kane going? I said, well, disappointed, but I support the club, not the man. So,
Yeah.
Loads of nil-nils coming in. I will bring in the nil-nils once they come up on the screen, once all the things, but there's love. Solihull Moors are 1-0 up, guys. They've gone in 1-0 up ahead, so there's our other team we look out for. I know Brad will be dancing around the sitting room tonight to that result.
Hull have equalised against Sheffield Wednesday.
They have. St Mirren have gone 2-0 up now against Dundee. Oxford City 0-0 against Rochdale at half-time. And Chesterfield 3, AFC 5. 3. Will Grigg has scored the third for Chesterfield. Bradford have equalised against Colchester. Clark Odor at the 45 minutes. Hull, as Philip has said, is equalised. It's Ozan Toffon after 5 minutes. A load of games, Philip, will be going into extra time in this new thing, so there'll be a lot of time added-ons.
Well, if the Scottish League is in to go by, last week's game with Celtic and Ross County had 9 minutes in each half.
Oh.
So, and look at Arsenal getting 11 minutes in the Charity Shield, allowing them to equalise.
Half-time at Southampton, it's 2-3 to Norwich. That's half-time. Woking 2, Accrington 2, Fleetwood 0, Cambridge 1, and Portsmouth are beaten Leyton Orient 2-0. And there's the cops after Brad that come knocking on his door now.
Yeah, I live in a tough neighbourhood here in Ealing,
Yeah,
you can't walk down the road without leaving the scene of a crime.
Yeah, are you the kingpin?
Oh yeah. The first question in any pub quiz is, did you knock my pint over? So. And anyway, going back to my earlier conundrum, we've got the Godfather. Get this right. Above us, the person that came from Woking is the Godfather of mod, Mr. Paul Weller, from Woking. And formed the Jam. So a big influence in my life and certainly in my writing. But yeah, Mr. Paul Weller still going strong. Saw him supporting Blur a few weeks back. Still going strong.
Here we go. Just go through the Premier League. So Arsenal 2 because of Forest. Bournemouth, West Ham, Brighton 0-0, Brighton 1, Luton 0, Everton 0, Fulham 0, Sheffield United 0, Crystal Palace 0. That's all the Premier League halftime scores. We'll get to your question in a minute, Lee, and Michael will go back to your question in a minute too. So there you go. So really, only one goal in the 3 o'clock kickoffs. All the rest of them are 0-0. It's quite boring.
The best league in the world.
Yeah, and not scoring goals. Sky Sports are so slow reading out the scores. Do you know that? They really are. They must have a fella about 90 doing it. He can't see. He's got.
A few years ago, they had Jo Brand. They got her as a guest to read out the scores, and she actually did the results with the inflection the other way around. Because you know when you do the score, it's Tottenham Hotspur 1, Arsenal 0. Or you might say, or you might say Arsenal 0, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Or you might say Tottenham 1, Arsenal 1. But she did it the other way around. She did it. It sounded really, really weird.
Yeah, we've got the championship here.
0. You know, it sounded so weird.
We've got the championship here. Birmingham 0, Leeds 0, Cardiff 0, QPR 1, Coventry 3, Middlesbrough 0, Huddersfield, Leicester 0-0, Hull 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Ipswich 1, Stoke 0, Millwall 0, Bristol City 0, Preston 1, Sunderland 1, Rotherham 1, Blackburn 0, Southampton 2, Norwich 3, Watford 0, Plymouth 0, West Brom 1, Swansea 0. Do you know what, Brad? I'll let you read out the League One. Okay, you're going to have to read out League One.
Let's do it. Okay, when they eventually put it up,
and let's see. Can you do your Jo Brand sort of thing?
It'll be really difficult. I'd rather do it. I'd do it. I'd try and do it to Jo Brand, but it'd be really sort of counterintuitive.
Carl's
eventually,
saying, yeah, has time team song. Oh, Brad, give us a song. Brad, give us a song.
Waiting.
I know they're so slow, aren't they, Brad? Seriously.
Meanwhile, the sun has come out in Ealing.
Yeah, if that was BT Sport, they'd be on to the champion. They'd be on to the non-league team by now.
It would have finished by now if it was BT Sports.
I feel sorry the BT Sport or TNT isn't around anymore. To be fair,
yeah, I used to like that. It was they used to. Thing was, they had the actual Premier League scores up permanently, so you could see when they changed a lot quicker. But we're still not getting League One scores. Oh, here we go. So the League One scores are Bristol Rovers 0, Barnsley 1, Burton Rovers 0, Derby County 1, Cheltenham 0. Bolton 3, Exeter 0, Blackpool 0, Fleetwood 0, Cambridge 1, Leyton Orient 0, Portsmouth 2, Lincoln 0, Wickham 0, Oxford 0, Carlisle 0, Peterborough 1, Charlton 0, Port Vale 0, Reading 0, Stevenage 0, Shrewsbury 0, Wigan 0, Northampton 1. It sounds really weird, doesn't it? It sounds really, really weird.
I tell you what. I don't know if you can see the Philip. Do you want to do League Two for us when it comes up?
Anyone to go onto YouTube, obviously later, and check out. I don't know if you have what you searched for. It's the football results on not the 9 o'clock news. I think.
Here we go.
Either that or Alas Smith and Jones. It's very, very funny.
I'll do the League Two. AFC Wimbledon 0, Wrexham 1, Barrow 0, Sutton 1, Bradford 1, Colchester 1, Gillingham 1, Accrington Stanley 0, Harrogate 0, Forest Green 0, MK Dons 1, Tranmere 0, Mansfield 1, Morecambe 0, Newport 3, Doncaster 0. Colin won't be too pleased with that. Notts County 1, Grimsby 2, Salford 0, Crawley 1, Swindon 1, Crewe 0, and Walsall 1, Stockport County 0.
There you go. We're still waiting for the championship to come up. But guys, look, let's get to some of these questions. Michael Rogers asks, who are you realistically hoping to come in before the window closes? Philip, do you want to go first on that?
I'd like another centre back, obviously. Now, whether it's going to be Tapsoba, as far as I can read in Tapsoba, his price is going up by the day. So I think he's probably going to price himself out of a move. There are another centre back anyway to back up Van der Ven. I think now we also need another striker coming in. And I would like to see get Orban from Genk. That young lad is available for about 20 million. And he's banging in goals for fun at the minute. So he'd be a great acquisition to have. Yeah. And I'll tell you, if we got those two in, I'd be happy. I think we've done pretty good, okay, in the transfer window so far. I know losing Harry Kane is a huge blow, but it's not fatal by any means. And as Mickey Hazard says, the badge on the front is a lot more important than the name on the back. So
yeah, no, I totally agree with what Philip said there. I think what I want to see Tottenham do is they got the 100 million from Harry Kane. They've also got the 50 million, which they haven't in that share thing. That's still there. So if you say they had 150 million pounds, I know it doesn't work that way, but if you said we had 150, I'd like to see them buy 3 top players, 50 million, 50 million, 50 million, whatever it might be. And obviously one of those has got to be a defender. We've been going on about Tatsoba, so why not pay the money? You know, we've got the money now. I agree with Philip, the price will probably go up, but we got the money, spend it. This is the problem that we've always had. We're not brave enough to spend a little bit of extra money. Look at Liverpool when they spent 75 million on Virgil van Dijk, and we all laughed, you know, because that's too pricey. What a defender he turned out to be. And I would say here and now, the reason we didn't win the Champions League final was because of Virgil van Dijk. So I think we need to get a top defender. We do need to get a striker, but I think the way Postecoglou wants us to play, we're going to get more goals from the midfield now. So I think it's going to be shared evenly rather than Harry Kane being the one scoring all the goals. Richarlison, hopefully, with the new sort of responsibility, will and also more games will score goals. We probably do need another. We probably will have to go for a striker, as I said, Ivan Toney. Can we afford Vlahovic, whatever his name is? You know, he might be available. There's loads of players out there. I just hope that we don't, as Alistair Gold said in his piece, you know, we always go for cut price players. So if we got 150 million, we'll buy 6 or 7 players at, 20 million each or whatever it might be, rather than going for the top players, for 75 million. So, I hope we do that. I don't think we will, because the Leopard doesn't change its spots. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what does happen. It might even be they might even wait until January, but I don't think we can wait for January unless it is for someone like
Ivan Toney anyway. I was talking about hanging on to January and buying Toney. I'd move now and bring in Orban.
Look, for me, like Column's saying here, Martial is available. Yeah.
Colum's trying to get rid of him. He's trying to sell him for United.
Yeah, that's a good point, Cole. Yeah, we need to replace, if he does go, Højbjerg with someone better.
Yeah. Lee Richards says here, it seems to be a generational thing regards to fans reacting to Kane going. Younger fans seem to be worse affected. I guess our older fans' reaction is we've seen great players leave us before and we've survived. And do you know what? I said that to Dave last night, and Dave, I know there's about a 10-year difference between me and Dave, or maybe more in our age difference. But Philip knows, we've seen it before, haven't we, Philip? Big players come. I can remember when Glenn Hoddle left and how I felt. I was probably a younger fan then, and going through, we're doomed without Glenn Hoddle. And older fans said, well, seeing Jimmy Greaves go, and we were grand.
Yeah, we got Martin Peters in return, didn't we? So, Martin Peters did. The thing is, we have seen this happen before. Do you remember after the World Cup, we was all looking forward to seeing, we bought Gary Lineker, and we thought, great, Waddle, Lineker and Gascoigne, what a team. We sold Chris Waddle. So it's happened before. Now we've got Maddison. Maddison, Kane, brilliant. We sold Kane. So it has happened before. The game moves on. In 10 years' time, Harry Kane would have retired anyway. So, yeah.
Yeah, look, Philip, what's your thought on that?
Gary Lineker's getting a lot of stick for his tweet this morning about Harry Kane having the trophy in the first 19 hours at Bayern Munich. Some of the Spurs having the right go back at them. They're quite right. So, I mean, it's amazing the amount of ex-Spurs players that have been having a pop at the club. Again, then the likes of Mickey Hazard and Graham Roberts, who defend the club to the last degree, and the other ones like Lineker are always having a go at us.
Yeah. I mean, look, Philip, you got Graham Roberts and Mickey Hazard, legends of the club. Yeah, Gary Lineker may have been a goal scorer, but he's not really a legend like them two, is he? To be fair.
No, he'd be a legend over his entire career with the various clubs he played for, but he wasn't a legend at Spurs. No. He wasn't a legend at Spurs. He did okay for us, but
couldn't even score a penalty in an FA Cup final, to be fair. Never forgiven for that.
Arsenal 0, Tottenham Hotspur 5.
Yeah.
Oh, wouldn't you love it?
Wouldn't you love it? In the end, Neil Shafton, Kane choose to leave. Buying dicked around with the bids until the last minute, and then it was Kane's decision, regardless of Spurs' failure, to upgrade the team around it. And that's true, though, isn't it? It was down to Harry Kane at the end. It doesn't matter what was done.
And knew 3 weeks ago Harry Kane was leaving. Dermot, your microphone's a bit far away there.
Yeah, but can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Philip? Yeah.
I can hear you now.
There you go. Look, Ange knew when he first started, Philip, that he was going to lose Kane. So, he said that yesterday in the press conference. He knew he was going. So,
he did.
Do you think, have we set Ange up for failure, Philip? All honesty, hand on heart, 100% honesty here. Do you think we've set him up for failure?
Honestly, I find that, no offense to him, but why would a club set up a new manager for failure?
No, I'm not saying I'm saying it. I'm saying that's the question that has been asked by other people.
No, we haven't. No, we bought 6 new players, right? We bought 6 new players. We've lost 2 players, Harry Kane, Harry Winks. One of them we'll miss, the other one we won't. Right? You can work out which
the 2 Harrys have gone.
But no, we haven't. We've bought well. We've bought well and we will continue to buy well. I don't think you've seen the end of Spurs surprising people in the market. We still have 3 weeks to go on the transfer deadline.
From
what I've seen already of that, what Ange has done in a month with that club, give him 2 or 3 more months at it, and it'll be the same as it was at Celtic. It took him a while to get his moods across with Celtic, but once he did, they were a lovely, lovely team to watch, and I can see the same thing happening to Spurs. So no, we haven't set them up for failure. In fact, the most Spursy thing that can happen this year is Harry Kane leaves and we win a trophy, and I can see that happening.
It would be so brilliant, wouldn't it? That would be so great. I don't think he's been set up for failure. I think he'll have the same issues with the backing that all the other managers have had. They ain't going to change. But I don't think Postecoglou is the sort of person that would. I think if they try to make him do things a different way, then he will walk without a doubt. But I don't think he will walk because they didn't get me this player or that player. He'll go with what players he's got. That's the sort of guy he is. He said it all through all the press conferences. He'll just go with what's in front of him and try and develop that into a decent team. He said famously said to Madison, didn't he? Well, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it anyway, whether you come and join me or not. Yeah. So I think he'll have the same problems that other coaches have had as regarding backing, but I think he's probably less likely to let that affect him, which I think is a good thing. I'm not supporting the board in any way, but I think we've got a decent manager there that will rise above that, hopefully.
Yeah. They are just about to say that. Forest Green have gone 1-0 up. Matt Stevens.
Oh, it started again.
Cove Rangers have gone 1-0 up against Falkirk. Joshua Kerr.
Right, it's going to be a goal now.
Is there a fight tonight, Brad?
Sorry?
Is there a boxing match? Is Joshua fighting tonight?
I don't know.
I think he might be.
Yeah, you could be right there, actually. I know there's... Yeah. Very interesting thing about Anthony Joshua is that I did a charity quiz a few years ago.
Oh, sorry, Brad, stop you there. We've got a goal in the Premier League. West Ham have taken the lead against Bournemouth. They're just talking about it on Sky Sports. So I don't know if called yet.
Jared Bowden.
I don't know if you can tell us who's called West Ham. Who?
Jared Bowen.
Jared Bowden, yeah. Good player.
That fella's been there forever. He
hasn't. No, he came down from Hull about 4 years ago.
Well, that's what I meant. He's been there forever.
Mind you, the West Ham boys now be thinking they've won the league as well today. That's not bad. 2 league titles in one afternoon for the London club. Well
done. Yeah, and I got Palace have gone 1-0 up against Sheffield United. The only Irish player with a broad London accent to play for us.
I told you there would be goals if I went to the kitchen.
Yeah. Osmond Eduardo has scored. He used to play for Celtic, didn't he, Philip?
He did, yeah. He did, yeah.
Yeah. And Rotherham have gone 2-0 up against Blackburn. Fred Obi.
That sounds like a name from Tolkien, doesn't it?
Who wants to pronounce that Rotherham player. Go on. Who wants to have a crack at that one? I got
Fred
on
yeah. What Philip
Fred
said.
on your
bike.
And Salford have equalised against Crawley. Connor McNally, 47 minutes. Brighton are still 1-0 against Luton. Big up to the My Heart Hotspur. Big up. So I hope you're well. Get in touch. We'll get you on a podcast one week.
Now I'm going to the kitchen.
Now Brad's going to the kitchen. I'm surprised Brad hasn't taken his phone, his laptop with him to show it's his kitchen.
Can I just read this out, lads? It's a quote just in from Sonny about being made captain.
Oh, yeah, go on. Read that out, Philip.
John said, "It's a big honour to captain this huge club. It was a big surprise and a very proud moment. I've always said to the players that everyone should feel like a captain on and off the pitch. It's a new season, a fresh start, and I will give everything for this shirt and the armband." Head coach Ange said, "Sonny has great leadership qualities, both on and off the pitch, and is the ideal choice to become our new captain. Everyone knows he's a world-class player, and he has enormous respect from everyone in the dressing room. He transcends groups within the squad. That's not because he's popular. It's because of what he's achieved in the game, both here and as captain of South Korea." So,
and as you said earlier, Philip, a good marketing move as well.
Oh yeah, that's
although
the order department now be getting inundated with orders from Korea for number 7 shirts.
Well, I'm sure that Postecoglou did it. That's his decision, and that he did it not because of that reason.
No, not at all. No. He didn't have a gun put to his head by Daniel Levy at all. No.
But he has been a breath of fresh air, though, hasn't he, Angie Postecoglou? Yeah. I've been very impressed with him in the press conferences and that.
Do you know what I love about him? When he's talking to someone, he calls everybody mate.
Yeah.
What is that?
That's a real Australian thing. He is so Australian. He really is, which is brilliant. You know, it's. And he did say in an interview, he said, "Oh, I call them mate because I can't remember all their names."
Just Ross County have got a second against St Johnston. Connor Radhill, 51.
And West Brom, this is
a cracking game in the National League. Altrincham 3, Woking 2. Regan Lenny after 47 minutes. West Brom have got 2-0 up against Swansea. Carl's Washworth on goal. And Falkirk have gone equalised against Grove Rangers. And also Stranraer have gone 1-0 up against East Fife. So that goals are coming in now.
Yeah.
Big up to Lee Richards. He says, folks, any ex-Spurs who wants to knife us public is always guaranteed maximum publicity in our Spurs hating media. Lineker showed his true colours when Leicester were going for the title. Yeah, they did.
Well, to be fair, we get to Gary Lineker. He is a Leicester boy, isn't he? So,
yeah.
You know.
I'm putting a tenner on Sonny and Richie for the Golden Boot. There you go.
Yeah, that's a positivity we like to see.
Son is as a striker, absolute good shout.
Well,
Charleston never.
The name that you asked us to pronounce has just been sent off for Rotherham.
He probably celebrated. He probably put his shirt off and further realised he was to be already booked.
He is a second booking of offence, so you could be right there, Philip.
That's what it was. I bet he took his shirt off when he scored, and he already been booked.
I'll tell you one thing.
Some player gets sent off that years ago, and then the referee said, "Look, I'm really sorry, I've got to send you off."
It really was Fred on his bike, to be fair. Fred on your bike, and Joshua is. Oh yeah, that fight is tonight.
I was in a charity quiz show, and we all had an Olympian next to us from the actual Olympian and the Paralympians, and I had a weightlifter, a little short guy. He didn't like Joshua at all. He really didn't. He said no, he's a real. He's not, because Joshua always came across to me as being one of the guys, sort of thing, But no, he said no, he's not like that at all. He has his own private room and that sort of thing. He comes across as a real person, but he said no, he didn't like him at all. That's his opinion. I've never met Anthony Joshua, so I don't know. But yeah, he wasn't enamoured with him at all.
Yeah, look, for me, the heavyweight division at the moment is completely gone downwards. I mean, you've got Tyson Fury fighting some NSC guy. You got what's his name? The Ukrainian fella.
Klitschko?
No, the other fella.
Oh, I know. I can't.
Usyk.
Yeah,
he's fighting a Britain next week for his in Poland. I just wish him and Tyson Fury can get together and put on a unified fight for all the titles. Then we know once and for all, and the winner of that then fights Anthony Joshua. Have Wilder and Joshua fight, Usyk and Tyson Fury fight, and then the winner then fights then for the unified. All give up the belts and have it as a tournament. Then we know once and for all.
You're right. But it's all money now, Dermot. It's about money and they're all arguing over contracts and where is he going to fight and all this sort of stuff.
We've got Mr. E. Carl Simpson. I'm on you with that. Lineker became a tool when he became a TV presenter. Maybe he always was. Captain Sonny.
Leyton Orient's 3-0 down now.
I know. I just saw that. Dumbarton have gone 1-0 up against the Spartans. That will start a massive fight up there. Newport have gone 4-0 up against Doncaster, and Chesterfield have gone 4-0 up against ASC Clyde. It's supposed to be Clyde, but they got it as Flyde. I think it's a mistake by the video printer. But big up if you are watching. Please hit the like and subscription. Sorry, go on, Philip.
There's a bit of possible transfer news coming in here. Now, this is today's dated today, and it's from Football Insider that there's only 2 clubs left in the race to sign Colin Gallagher from Chelsea, West Ham and ourselves. Interesting. I thought we'd sort of fallen out of the race for him.
I wouldn't mind him at Tottenham. I know you're against me in that, Philip. I really wouldn't mind him at Tottenham.
Yeah. Well, it depends. If he's a replacement for Højbjerg, then maybe. But
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's done well with Palace and Chelsea, and he's a couple of England caps, hasn't he? So
there you go. We've got Kelty Hearts are 1-0 down against Hamilton Akamekatical, Regan Tumity, and then Leyton Orient, of course, are 3-0 down against Portsmouth.
Is Kelty Hearts the same club as Hearts of Midlothian?
No. I think it might be.
No, Hearts of Midlothian are the Hearts.
All right.
Anyway, guys, breaking news. We've got breaking news. Solihull Moors have gone 2-0 up against Ebbsfleet.
They have indeed.
So,
wow.
The tides of time, the ebbs of time. What's that word? Ebbs of time?
Colin Turner, heavyweight boxing's become has become a massive joke to me. I mean, you go back in the days, guys. You go back to Ali, Foreman, Frazier, Kenny Norton, Larry Holmes, to Mike Tyson, to Evander Holyfield, and you go up. Then you go to the middleweights of Sugar Ray Leonard and Hagler, Hearns, and I mean, back in the 80s, 70s, and 80s, boxing had a rich of talent. Even Barry McGuigan.
I think what's happened. Is that I think they've taken a leaf out of the wrestling book.
I think they have.
Yeah, and they're just going with that sort of publicity and that sort of because you have to admit WWE is very, very successful. It's we all know it's sports entertainment, obviously, but it's very successful and they seem to be doing that with the banter going backwards and forwards and that sort of thing. So.
Notts County 2, Grimsby 2, Luke Waterfield, 50. It was an own goal after 50 minutes. Nothing really, but this is the latest from League One. Bristol City 0, Barnsley 1, Burton 0, Derby 1, Cheltenham 0, Bolton 3. We've got Exeter 0, Blackpool 0. We've got Fleetwood 0, Cambridge United 1. Digby after 31 minutes. Later on, of course, a 3-0 down to Portsmouth, which is a sad rally. And it's still better. We've got Lincoln 0, Wickham Wanderers 0, Oxford United 0, Carlisle United 0, Peterborough 1, Charlton Athletic 0. So Peterborough 1-0 up there. Port Vale 0, Reading 0. Carroll had a penalty save for Reading. Stevenage 0, Shrewsbury United 0, and Wigan 0.
And bugger all happening in the Premiership.
There is very, very little happening in the Premiership. Look, Philip, out of all the Premier League games today, are you surprised by any of the results we got so far, or do you think it was, as expected? Look, if you go to the Brighton-Luton game, do you expect Brighton to be more than 1-0 up against Luton?
To be honest, the Premiership, I'm dying to boredom watching the Premiership. There's far more better things going on in the other leagues.
Well, talk about the other leagues then, Philip. Go on, talk. What's exciting you in the other leagues then?
There's a lot more happening in the Championship and the First Division. I suppose first day out, people have been cagey. You think Brighton will be more better than 1-0 against Luton, but some people say Luton. No one knows anything about Luton, about their players, so we don't really know. They could turn out to be a very entertaining team to watch.
Go on.
Big news on the Sky Sports studio. Apparently, Paul Merson has just drawn a check. They're playing chess, and he's now check. Is it checkmate? No, he hasn't. No, he's got out of it. They're playing chess. Yeah, they're playing chess.
Always disappeared.
I don't think. But when you look at it, really,
he just wiped his nose.
Actually, the guy presented it does look like a younger version of Jeff Selling, funnily enough.
Yeah, go on, Philip.
It's 3-3 between Southampton and Norwich now. See, that's a good game. That's a game.
And Chai Adams has equalised for Southampton.
Really, do you know what the problem with the 3:00 kickoffs in the Premiership today? There's none of the big teams playing. When you think about it, there's none of the top 6 playing. So that doesn't help.
This is a crazy
with all due
game,
respect, Sheffield United versus Crystal Palace isn't exactly a riveting sort of a start to the season, is it?
No.
Surely you're not saying that we're a big club, Philip.
Of course I am.
But tonight we've got Newcastle against Aston Villa, of course, on Philip's favourite TV station of the whole wide world, Sky Sports, and Sky Sports main event at 5:00. Or you can watch the Super Cup, Bayern Munich, with Harry Kane against my team, RB Leipzig, at 7:35. I don't care. I hope Leipzig. I'm just glad that we won the cup last year, and we're in the champ.
But isn't that Super Cup? Isn't it basically the Charity Shield?
It is. Yeah. Can I just say, people are doing their head in saying, "Oh, Harry Kane's going to win a medal and stay away from Spurs." That is the equivalent of the Charity Shield. It's a friendly pre-season match. It's a bit like us winning the Singapore Trophy. No one gives a shit about it, to be honest.
Maybe I should call it the Super Duper Cup. They might.
I like Philip's reaction to that, actually.
Yeah.
But don't give a shit about it. It's true, though.
Well, it is true, yeah.
We were taking the piss out of Arsenal last week for thinking they won the Champions League when they won the Charity Shield. It's the Charity Shield. It's a friendly. It raises money for charities, basically. And it's a pre-season friendly, so don't get the knickers in a twist just because Kane might have a medal in his hand tonight.
Speaking of which, I don't think Tottenham have ever, well, certainly not in my lifetime, or since I've been following Tottenham, I can't remember us ever winning the Charity Shield. Not that we've ever really, we've had enough cup wins to be in.
61 or 62 the last time we won the Charity
Shield. Yeah. I don't know about 91. Did we share it or something? I don't know.
We shared it. Right, just a couple of scores to get up to. Sorry. Crew 1, Swindon 2. Cambridge United have gone 2-0 up now against Fleetwood. Gorson added him in at 59 minutes. Mansfield 2, Morecambe 0. Davis Keller done after 62 minutes. Preston 2, Sunderland 1. Mads Fokker Jensen. No, I didn't swear. That's actually his name. Mads Fokker Jensen. I swear to God. That is actually his name. I am telling you. That is his name.
It's got to be the name of the day.
Brad, you can confirm that for me, isn't it? It's Mads.
Mads. Well, it's Frock. Yeah, it's
Fockjar.
No,
I don't know how they pronounce it. It's Scandinavian, I would presume.
Yeah.
Well, it's got Jensen on the end of it. So
yeah. But anyway, we'll press it and look, and there's Crystal Palace 1-0 up against Sheffield United. Look, we'll quickly go through the Premier League. Quickly go through the Premiership. Birmingham 0, Leeds 0, Coventry 0, QPR 1, Huddersfield 0, Leicester 0. Hull have gone 2-1 up now against Sheffield United, Sheffield Wednesday, Ipswich 1, Stoke 0, and it goes so quick now. And there's a referee. Could you please get off my screen because you're annoying me? Hull 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Ozan Tufan.
My earliest memory of football is a book, like a Rockman's yearbook type thing, and it had the Premier or the Football League winners and the Cup winners on the back of it, and it's Tottenham as the FA Cup winners 1967 and Manchester United. And I always remember saying to my dad, looking at the teams, Dad, there's a player called Best. Is he any good, sort of thing, as a 7 or 8 year old, to hear that there's actually a player called, QPR have gone 2 goes up. If you're watching, Ellie.
Wow.
But you know what else I remember about that book? It had the colours of every team in it.
Mm. And also, it was your invitation to go and buy a pack of the Rothmans 20 from the local store.
It wasn't a Rothmans. I remember what it. I can't remember. I can't obviously remember what it was, but I just remember the 2 players.
Yeah, I remember watching sport back in the day when it was like cigarette branding, and you were curious. Oh, do you know what? I might go and try a fag now after watching some the Benson and Hedges something. You go, I might go and try a fag. Benson and Hedges actually were my cigarettes back in the day. Actually,
well, I must admit, I've never smoked. My dad smoked from the age of 12.
Mm-hmm.
And
sorry, Brad, stop you there. West Brom have gone 3-0 up. Swift with a 64-minute penalty. So Swansea are rarely and truly beaten. And Dunfermline have gone 1-0 up against Dundee United. Craig Whitten after
must be a lot of pressure if your name's Swift, mustn't it?
Yeah.
It's
like Philip, Swift here, Swift there, Swift everywhere. Neil Shafton Phillips says, the Red Bull franchise was all Ralph Rangnick's doing. He knows how to build a squad. I tell you what, I would love him at Tottenham. If we could get that man at Tottenham, wow. Well, who did we get? Scott, I will not be seen, Munn.
We're losing you, Philip. I mean, damn it. I've got a question for Neil. I've got a question for Neil. I could possibly buy a Rickenbacker copy for about 150 quid. Should I do it?
There you go. There you go. That's a question from Bob down below. Now I'm going to go over to Fred beside me, and I'm Tom. So there you go, Tom Jones. Tom.
You're talking about names there, like calling Swift.
Yeah.
I think if your name Bill Gates should be known as Pearly. Pearly Gates.
Yeah. You two are fair. Anyway,
I'm sure there's a few more as well,
Yeah, we've got Maidenhead have gone 1-0 up against Dorking. Sean McCloskey after 61 minutes, and St Mirren have gone 2-1 up against Dundee. The Premier League is very, very, very bad today. Colin Turner, same as Mr. Brady, and I'm sure all of us as well, young and old. Yeah. Greaves was my hero, but was the greatest player. Player I ever seen. Philip, look, I always wanted to ask you, right? You've seen these great players like Cruyff in their prime, and Jimmy Greaves and Georgie Best and people like that, and Pele as well. Look, me and Brad, I don't know, Brad, you're around the 70s, so I was 80. So
I've seen Greaves. But yeah.
I grew up with Maradona and Van Basten and players like this. If you went back through your whole career, and I'm going to ask the same question to you, Philip, Brad, but I'll start with you, Philip. Who would your top 3 players be of all time? Of all
Spurs
time.
Players. Spurs players or
any player of all time, any footballer of all time. Who would your top 3 be? And also in the chat as well, put in your top 3 players of all time, of any generation, any decade. You've got a choice of anybody. Who your top 3 would be?
My 3 would be Pele, Jimmy Greaves.
There's been a goal. Sorry, there's been a goal. Brighton have gone 2 goals up.
All right, who scored the second goal for Brighton, Brad?
They're not saying at the moment. João Pedro with a 71st minute penalty. Mm-hmm. Sorry to interrupt you there, Philip, but we haven't had many goals in the Premiership today.
Pele, Jimmy Greaves, and Lionel Messi. My 3.
For me, Pele was just out of this world, really. I mean, his record speaks for itself. Greaves again. I'm actually probably pretty much the same as Philip. I must give a special mention to Glenn Hoddle, who I think was criminally treated by England. They should have built the team round Glenn Hoddle, and they never did. Yeah.
I don't think you've noticed yet what I put by your name, Philip. Flying Swift.
What?
Brad Matthews, the Flying Swift.
Oh. I didn't notice that. Well, to be fair, the Swift is a very, very nice bird as well.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about bird in right, lads, bird, nice bit of bird. I'm talking about a actual flying bird.
Yeah. So look. So who's your top three again?
I think Pele, definitely Pele. Greaves for me. There's so many. It's such a deal. I mean, my top three will probably change from day to day. I'm lucky enough to have seen Greaves play, and lucky enough to have seen Pele in one of the greatest Brazilian teams ever, or greatest national team ever. And that watching the 4-1 win over Italy was absolutely amazing.
That was superb. That was superb.
But yeah, it's difficult to come up with three. Really is. Messi, you just got to go on Messi's record. Ronaldo, look at his record. You know, it's. I think players that score at all levels, and you have to give a mention to Harry Kane because he's Spurs' top goal scorer. He's England's top goal scorer. He's scored goals in World Cup finals.
Yeah,
he's done it at the highest level. He's scored lots of goals in the Champions League, so he's there as well.
Mm.
But yeah, Pele for me was just amazing.
Yeah, and as we can see there, Philip, I've just added to your name as well.
Excuse me, I'm going to change that, please.
Yeah, I've heard you call that Philip, but it's not unusual.
You at least give me some credit. Don't put me in as the Irish Roger Taylor or the Irish Charlie Watt or Tom Jones. Jeez, I can't sing a note.
I love that. I really do. I do love it. It's a bit of fun.
The abuse I take on this channel, it's unbelievable. It really is.
A diva. Me and Mia, Teddy, is such a diva. Orange, or anyway. Just quickly,
Listen,
Bradford have gone.
You left the pink M&Ms in it today again. I keep telling you, no pink M&Ms.
See what I've got to deal with, Brad. Do you see what I've got to deal with? Bradford have got 2-1 up again, Colchester.
Fulham have scored at Everton. Fulham have scored at Everton.
Fulham are 1-0 up against Everton.
They are
jumping so
far. They were in the first half, weren't they? And it got chopped off.
But this goal has been confirmed. Fulham are 1-0 up.
Bobby, oh my God, the Cordova Reed, or Bobby Reed.
What happened to good simple names like Cliff Jones and Bobby Smith?
Anyway, it is Bobby Dover Reed. And Leicester will go 1-0 up against Huddersfield. Steffi.
Yeah.
Right, stay tuned for more Premiership goals after this quick break.
Mavididi.
Yeah. Colin Turner's gone for Pele, Maradona, Messi, Greaves. Best you can put Ronaldo. No, you can't. We've got Ellie saying, I've heard you say QPR have gone 2-0 up, Brad, and had to keep quiet as my stream is behind yours by 30 seconds. Steve D's gone for Messi, Maradona, Zidane. My top three would be Diego Maradona, Van Basten, and Zinedine Zidane. They're my top three. Now, Georgie Best and all that, and Jimmy Greaves, yeah. But they're my three. Neil Shafton's he saw Best, Pele, Beckenbauer, and Klinsmann. I saw Jurgen Klinsmann. You and me both did. Queen's Park have gone 2-1 up against Arbroath, Philip, Ruhi, Patton, 75th minute.
Wow.
Lincoln have gone 2-0 up against Wickham. Teddy Bishop, 73 minutes. Airdrie have gone 2-1 up against Partick Thistle. Callum Gallagher after 71 minutes. So they're all going in. But Fulham have taken the lead against Everton in the Premier League. Brighton are 2-0 up against Luton. And the rest of the games are 0-0. Palace are 1-0 up against Sheffield United. Vicarage Road, Watford 0, Plymouth 0 so far, 75 minutes. Nearly gone there, Philip. And Arsenal beat Forest 2-1 at the lunchtime kickoff. And Villa are playing Newcastle at 5. Philip, what do you expect from the Premier League this season? Do you expect it to be normal business as normal, or what do you expect this season? Do you expect any upsets or any surprise teams, or what do you expect?
Well, I expect Man City to do what they usually do, to be honest with you. I'm fascinated to see how the likes of Luton will get on, and the other promoted teams. Sheffield United, I'd worry about, and who was the other one that came up with them? Burnley. Burnley would be okay. Yeah, I think it's going to be more of the same at the top. I think I've got a sneaking suspicion that one of the teams they're all saying are going to do great, be it Brighton, Aston Villa, or Newcastle. At least one of them is going to underachieve this season.
Yeah,
and it's hard to pick which one really. Newcastle Villa now this afternoon later on will be an indication of how that they've gone on. I think Villa will do well, but I'm not so sure about Newcastle. I just don't know. I don't know. I hope they don't do well, because if they do well, it means it's harder for us to get into the top, 5 or 6.
But I think into the top 5, Philip. Stop being pessimistic. We're getting in the top 5.
I think it'll be
confident
if we get top 6, or if we get Europa League football. I think it'll be absolutely amazing.
God, you two are so fucking down into that. We're going to qualify for the Champions League. I'm telling you.
It's already realistic.
Yeah, I'm delusional. I know that, but leave me in my delusional world. We're going to win. We're going to get in the top 5. We're qualified.
I remember predicting 3rd place on a trophy last season under Conte. That went well, didn't it? So,
mind you, I said we were going to do the cup double, and that ended up very well.
See, there's a fellow called Dave Mackay. He's after been sent off for Alloa.
I just saw that.
Taken after his namesake. Different spelling.
Wigan have equalised against Northampton. Charlie Hughes. Morton have equalised against Raith Rovers. Robbie Crawford. And Millwall are still 0-0 against Bristol City on the pitch. In the stands, Millwall are winning 5-0.
No, that's the evictions. That's
the evictions.
The winning fans thrown out of the ground.
Yeah, honest to God. And Paul Merson is playing chess with Carlton Morrison at the moment. Now Paul Merson is talking.
It's quite a tight game at the moment. It's quite a tight game.
See all the hand movements. All the hand movements. I think he's saying, well, I couldn't get my normal dealer, so I had to go down that avenue to get the second dealer that I used. But there's another one in there.
I swear to God, we're going to be sued one day with you, Philip.
Dawson's getting involved. He's going like this. Yeah. Dawson's playing cricket umpire.
Yeah, no.
Dawson's saying, remember that time I played against you with Arsenal, and I put you through it and put you in row Z at the stand.
Can I just say, Dawson's just looked at the screen and said, "No, Paul, you should have taken the left instead of the right. There, you went down the wrong road."
Oh, the reason Dawson's animated is VAR at Brighton Luton, and they're looking over to Mike Dean. So I think it might be something to do with a penalty, yes or no.
You telling me I've got to look at that ugly mutt every Saturday when we do this show? Is that what you're telling me, Brad?
Sorry, what was that?
I mean, have we got to look at his ugly mutt every time we do this show? Are you telling me we've got to do Jesus? He reminds me of Jasper Carrot.
Yeah.
He's not quite as funny, though. Some of his decisions are. Yeah.
I swear to God, every time he was refereeing against Tottenham, we were thinking, "Oh Lord Jesus."
Have you seen the Jasper Carrot when he went to see Birmingham play Man United at Old Trafford? It's one of his comedy things. It's brilliant.
I still can't get over the 9-0 when the comedian walked out 9 times and missed all 9 goals. I still think that's cracking.
Oh, Brighton and Luton have pulled the goal back.
Yeah, and so they have. Luton scored.
Do you know what? That's Luton's first goal in the top flight since they got relegated.
Wow. And Cardiff have pulled one back against QPR. Ellie, if you're still listening.
Ellie, squeaky bomb time for your husband for 3-0. He'd be squeaky bomb time. Charlton Morris has scored for Luton.
Carlton Morris, yeah.
And Luton did nobody in Luton today because they've all gone to the match.
I could say, yeah.
Luton is empty. Raith Rovers have taken the lead against Morton.
Does anyone here or in the chat remember a song?
Just very quick, Brad. Sorry. Michael Anderson of Strandhouse.
There's a goal at Bournemouth. Bournemouth have equalised against West Ham. Get in.
Yes.
Get in, Bournemouth. Come on, Bournemouth. Port Vale got 1-0 up against Reading. Bournemouth have equalised. We will get you the goal scorer in a minute. We need to get a Mike Dean, a referee. So I don't know who we need to find next week, Philip, for a refereeing decision. So, do you think if you could talk to Mike Dean during the week,
Dominic Solanke has scored for Bournemouth.
Yeah, right. Philip's going to speak to Mike Dean during the week. See, can we get him on this channel for about half an hour, and then we can all slag him.
Bournemouth made 5 substitutions in the space of 12 minutes.
Wow.
Now, tell you this: Blackburn 2-0 down against Rotherham. Remember, Blackburn 2, Rotherham 2. Blackburn have scored 2 goals in 3 minutes.
Now, pronounce that name, Thomas. Pronounce that name.
Sammy.
Which one?
Sammy
well, I think the Z and
can I just quickly, sorry, Dominic Solanke for Bournemouth has equalised. Kyle Doherty has got the equaliser of Queen's South. Mark Kitswich has scored an own goal for Aldershot, and Sammy Buckles has equalised Blackburn Rovers.
I think it's Modic.
And the next one as well. He's where they get these names from.
Borough and Emi Akuhuko has equalised for Borough here.
And the Huns are 2-0 up against Livingston now.
And Connor, who's that, Philip, for Derby?
Conor Horan, he's like Irish international.
Who Irish international has equalised, has scored the second for Derby. They've gone 2-0, and Rangers have scored the second. Philip, fuck's sake.
Danilo. I thought Danilo was a blend of yogurt, wasn't it?
It is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
A yogurt scored for Rangers. Hey. A match or a mosque? Right. Now Shafton's asking a difficult question here. A match or a mosque? Difficult choice.
As in a mosque.
Now Shafton said, watching Colombia versus England, and Sanchez isn't good enough for the women's team.
It's a bit radical. Yeah.
Hull have gone 3-1 up. Hull have gone 3-1 up against Sheffield Wednesday. And it is, I don't know, because I went off it pretty quickly. West Brom are gone up 3-2 against Swansea. Nathan Wood-Gordon, Flash Gordon has scored on the 80th minute. Wigan, Colin McNamara has scored on the 79th minute for Wigan. Zico Aziri for Maidenhead has been sent off for a second bookable offence. And Ademir Oti has scored Warsaw's second goal against Stockport. And there's some fella on the screen who I forget his name. He's headbutting the telly. He seems to be headbutting the screen. He's like, I'm telling you, Paul.
It's a goal at Brighton. It's a goal at Brighton. It's 3-1 now.
3-1.
Yeah.
He was telling Paul Merson he should have gone down the certain road, and he did. Don't give him that to Paul Merson for getting lost.
No, he's probably telling it's cheaper down that road, you know.
Brighton are 3-1 up now. They've scored as well. Is that the one you're on about?
Simon Adingra has scored.
Well, do you know what? I think for these difficult names, we need to come up with some funny. Just come up with some funny names. Bristol Rovers. Scott Sinclair has equalised for Bristol Rovers. AFC Wimbledon have equalised against Wixham. James Tilley, 81 minutes. Simon Jordan has equalised for Brighton, 3-1 up. I would love to get Simon Jordan on this channel just to watch him and Philip talk. I think I'll just sit back with the popcorn and just let him and Philip get on with it.
You're right, though. Some of the names are hilarious. They really are. You know?
Queen of the South have got 2-1 up against FC Edinburgh. David McClinalad. McCalland. And then we've got Borough have gone 2-1 up against Stockport. James Proctor, 82 minutes. And really, Paul Mercer and your man's just saying there on the TV screen now, that my name is forget me, saying, look, Paul, you should have gone left. You went right. You got lost. Not my fault. That he's gone, so you have to wait for another hour.
No, the police undercover.
Paul Mercer just gone, look, lads, I'm sorry. I'm crap with directions. He's now saying, look, I told you I went left, but I went right. I just got messed around, man. Just got messed around.
Another. It must be taking shirt off day, because the goal scorer, David McCallum for Queen of South, has just been sent off for a second book of offence here. So it must be that.
Yeah.
Just
go through some of the chat here, guys. My hubby just said squeaky bomb time, QB. Yeah, I said the same thing, squeaky bomb time as well, Lily. Colin Turner, I watched Greaves and St. John, Roger Hunt, Smithy. I saw Morris Norman,
wow,
Henry Sissel, Pat, the list goes on. I consider myself very fortunate.
Well, Colin, I have to say, if you've seen Morris Norman, you must be older than me then.
Philip, have you seen? You mean you must have seen most of these plays yourself, haven't you?
Yeah, I don't know that I ever see Morris Norman, but I've seen most of the other ones. Yeah.
Cyril, Pat, yeah. I mean, yeah, Roger Hunt, Greaves, St. John.
We've got Dermot sent you a picture of one of my memories as a young lad in Messenger. Okay, Grant. I will have a look at that. Grant. I'll get that, Neil. I will get that. Lee says, Missy, probably the best kept the opinion to ourselves. It was on the stream yesterday, and people were saying they cried when they heard Harry was going. One guy went to lynch me when I said it was good business.
Yeah.
No, Philip, look, seriously, though, I want a serious conversation here for a few minutes now. He's fine. I've equalised against Stranraer, Jonathan Page, the easiest name of the day. Philip, seriously, though, if you're getting your sensible hat on, surely everyone's entitled to their opinion, but surely the older fans should be listened to more because they've seen it, done it, bought the T-shirt. They've seen Tottenham at their worst and their best. Surely to God.
They should be doing it, but they never will be because a lot of the older fans are treated as old fogies by the younger fans. What do they know? We know everything, you know. I personally, we've been saying for the last couple of weeks that Harry Kane was going to Bayern Munich. We've known for the last couple of weeks he's been going. Okay, there were those shenanigans at the last minute, whatever caused them, we don't know. But he's gone. It is good business because we didn't know this, but Ange more or less said it yesterday in his press conference. Harry had no intention of signing a new contract. So we couldn't let him stay on till the summer and let him go for nothing, possibly to Manchester United. So it is good business. And Levy was right to dig his heels in and not take the offers Bayern came up with, but to wait until they finally had to come up with an offer that was acceptable. And they've done it. And we've just got to move on now. Like the king is dead, long live the king. You know, and that's the way I look at it now.
Speaking as one of the younger generation, and I have fullest respect for the older guys, I have to say. But I think...
Be careful here, Brad.
Yeah, look, the argument it was good business, £100 million for a player in the last 6 months of his contract who's 30. Yeah, by anyone's standard, that's good money. I don't like the way money is... This is the lefty me coming out. I don't like the way money is governing football now. So I would rather have seen get an extra year out or an extra season out of Harry Kane, see where we could go with him, see if we could convince him to stay. And if he decided no at the end of the season and went on a free, so be it. You know, that's my opinion. But I do understand.
The Levy was between a rock and a hard place. He's going to upset an awful lot of people by selling him, right? But it upset an awful lot more if you let him go for nothing.
Yeah.
And maybe
sorry, but Bonnie Rig Rose are 2 up. Bradley Barrett scored. So they've got a player called Bradley there.
And Rangers have gone 3-0 up again. And Rangers have gone 3-0 up again.
Norwich 4-3.
Wow, what a game that is.
Rangers have gone 3-0 up against Livingston. Derby have gone 3-0 up against Burton. Connor, Washington. Norwich 4. Christian Fasciniciucci has equalised to go Norwich. I'm glad you're finding these funny.
Right, I think we should just pronounce the names wrong all the time. I think.
Yeah, I think
the easy ones.
Look. As a fan that was born in the year we got relegated and grew up in the 80s and 90s and that, and look, I can remember when Glenn Hoddle left. Big players have left, and you know how I feel about it, Philip. But I am glad of one thing: we were right when we told you he was going, and nobody believed us. We broke it here first. We even got ahead of Sky Sports. We were the first ones to break about Postecoglou becoming our new manager. We broke it here first before Sky Sports. I'm sorry, but if you want breaking news and you want the facts, this is the channel to watch. Isn't that right, Mr. Brady?
Absolutely. We have very good sources. And, the transfer news is going to die down now in a couple of weeks. But there are other things coming out of the club, you know, during the season that we'll be able to bring you that you might not hear anywhere else. Like, you know, what color dog Eric Dyer's bought, or, you know, who crashed their car into a lamppost on the way into training and stuff like that. So,
the Spartans have equalised, or they've absolutely scared
Dishington.
What a great name that is, Jamie Dishington.
Yeah. Well, they must have scared the Barton to half to death, right? So they've equalised. They probably say, "Look here, have a go."
Derby are 3-0 up now on Burton Albion.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. Ellie's saying, "I love a lefty, Brad." Ellie,
Brad, I join you. I would join you there. So yeah.
Apparently, we're woke clowns. Is the word.
I tell you one thing. I'm thinking of it from a naughty sort of rude point of view, where you two are thinking, "Oh, completely different." It's just how my brain works. Sorry.
Brad, would you be getting the popcorn out when Donald Trump goes to jail?
Oh yeah. Although I don't think he will be.
Hang on. Can we just finish the comments before you start you two talking about Donald Trump? Wigan have gone 2-1 up, thank God. McNamara has scored in 79 minutes. Colin saying sources what's that? Vindicated.
You're right. You're right.
And this is a great chance. Now, I tell you one thing, Philip. Doubting Thomas to my left, you weren't sure of it to begin with. My partner says, no, it won't happen. Your sources are wrong. You're wrong. Everyone's saying, Dermot, you're wrong. And me and Mia stuck to our guns. No, we're right. We know what's happening.
No, hold on. Can I slightly correct you there? I just didn't want us to go ass over tit and say he was definitely going until it was. You were right in the end, but you took a chance. You didn't take a chance.
Philip, there's an old saying, right? Mm-hmm. He who dares wins. I should have done that.
He who dares can also fall flat on their face.
Yeah. He who dares got a receding hairline.
4 Sheffield Wednesday won. Jeez, Aaron Connolly.
Bristol Rovers. Yeah, Bristol Rovers won. Have got one. Barnsley won.
There is a saying, an old philosophical saying, that when one door closes, you just turn the handle and open it. That's how doors work.
Yeah. Exactly.
Dyer closed all his social media accounts.
Sticking to your guns, fair dues to you. I mean, I was just being a little bit conservative. I'm not normally conservative. Normally exactly the opposite, but, well done.
I actually did. It did cause a bit of an argument once, to be fair.
Well, I guess if you could, playing the devil's advocate, it's a 2-to-1 chance to be right, isn't it?
Yeah, but no, it's like the night we got the news right. The day we got the news, I said to Philip, "I'm going live with this." No, I don't think you should, Dermot. I am going with it. Well, down on you. Fine, I'm going with it. And then I got the news coming out today, and I'm thinking, "Oh fuck, I'm gonna get. I told you so."
It'd be interesting how much extra time is added in these games.
It's a funny feeling because I didn't want him to go. Do you know what I mean? It's a really funny thing. I didn't want him to go, but I also wanted to be proved right. And it's a very funny. I sat down after Thursday night stream, and we were
one, by the way.
Yay! Sky Sports was still saying up on their screen, there's nowhere to rely. Kane is likely to stay. After everywhere's broke that he's leaving.
Yeah, Sky Sports were saying Jimmy Greaves was just signed for Spurs. That's how far back they were.
We've got Neil Shafton. Oh, I wish we could go. How I wish he would just go away. I'm hoping Trump is trumped, opens his big mouth in the violation of the judge's order and has bail revoked and gets put in jail.
That's what they're playing. That's what they're acting on.
I don't want to insult anyone, but I really doubt the intelligence of some Americans or half the population of America that's their guy.
Just very quickly, goal that Brighton have scored the 4th. Evan Ferguson, Philip, for us Irish, he scored on the 90th.5 minutes.
Birmingham scored against Leeds.
No, score correction. It's 3-1. It's been chalked off.
Yeah, Ewan Ferguson is the goal scorer for
Evan.
Sorry, Evan.
Yeah.
And Bournemouth and West Ham.
I know Birmingham have taken the leads from Lukas Jakubowicz, and it's going so far. No, it is. It is a goal. It's Evan Ferguson 4-1. A correction again by Sky Sports.
All time at Bournemouth as well.
Full time at Bournemouth. Bournemouth 1, West Ham 1. Full time at Harrogate 0. Forest Green 1. Look, Philip, very quickly, Brighton, Luton result.
Yeah.
You thought
not totally unexpected. Not totally unexpected. You would think that Brighton would be too good for Luton, though. I'm not surprised Luton caved in so much at the end. 4-1. But we shall see how they do. I fear for them, though.
A good result for good stuff. What do you think that's a better result, Bournemouth, West Ham, Brad, for you?
I agree with Philip on the result at Brighton. Don't forget, Brighton were a decent team last season, and Luton have just come up through the playoffs. And yeah, look, they got back to 2-1, which I thought was very good. But then, yeah, you there's a difference between the Premier League and the Championship is quite big at sometimes, and I think that was probably shown today. Bournemouth won West Ham. That's a good result for Bournemouth, I'd say.
It is.
Consider they're 1-0 down, and consider West Ham are on a high after winning the Conference League.
Oh, sorry. Just to catch you, Bristol City have got a goal in the 94th minute.
Yeah.
Millwall fans have now started writing. And so it's Bristol City 1, Millwall 0 in the pitch. And
Millwall as well.
Yeah, and Millwall 55, Bristol City 2 in the stands. So there you go.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe Brighton are top of the league.
Brighton are top of the league, yeah, as of now. See, did you notice we've taken how Brighton do their stuff and bringing in the players reporting this summer? We followed the Brighton model.
I think it's on the way that you research players, which full time at Everton. Well, Everton, that's not going to go down. What was it? Everton 0, Fulham 1. Wow, that's and full time at Sheffield United 0, Palace 1.
There you go. Brad Matthews, our full-time expert here, giving you all the latest as the full-time goes in. How's that man still a manager?
It's great. He's a good lad. The way he keeps going. He really is. It's great he keeps going.
It's, well, look, lads, we're at Palace 1, Sheffield United 0. Leighton Orient have gone 4-0 down to Portsmouth now. Cushy Yenge. It sounds like somebody out of a Super Mario game.
Big shout out to Pete Sargent, my mate, who's a Portsmouth fan. Big shout out to Jeff Lloyd in Australia because Oldham are 5-1 up.
I thought you said big up to mate in Australia. I owe you a $5. I'll bring it over to you next time.
Big up to my mate Kevin. Ipswich have won 2-0 against Stoke.
Now, Brad, look, we haven't got you to sing yet, but can you sing this for Colin? Don't make his day.
Please get battered everywhere they go. Please get battered everywhere they go. Everywhere they go.
There you go. Colin, I hope that's made your day. There you go. And we all knew about that. Yeah. Mystery Tequila says, Dermo, I think a lot of clubs are not going to copy, but we have. I think they should.
The thing is, all this technology that they're using, Liverpool use it. They analyze throw-ins.
Yeah.
So they all do it. It's the modern way. Whether you like it or not, it's the modern way. They're still playing at Cardiff. 99th minute. They're in the 100th minute at Cardiff. Cardiff won QPR 2. Wow.
Relly is squeaky bomb time there for you, Ellie.
That's the squeakiest bum time ever.
Yeah. Just a quick question, Tequila. Do you do this with tequila? Just let us know. Do you try Right. Okay. Well, look, guys. Sorry. Typo. I think Colin's saying quality. He loved it. Ellie's saying Hoddle was my opinion. Ours, the English. Yeah, he is. Look, guys. Yeah. I used to own Crystal Palace, says Tequila. I bet you did. Are you Simon Jordan then? Is this your YouTube name, Tequila? I used to own. Now, if you are Simon Jordan, we'd love to get you on. I do know. To be fair, though, he hasn't been well. To be fair to him, Simon Jordan,
hasn't he?
No, he had prostate cancer.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Well, listen, guys, we're going to end it there. Around the grounds, it's a bit quicker than normally we would do, but something's come up, so we need to end now. Thank you so much for watching. Look, we've got 27 likes. See, can we get this up to 30 likes before we finish the show? We are back tonight at 9 o'clock. Is it 9 o'clock or 9:30 for the?
Yeah, 9 o'clock. Yeah.
9
Still
o'clock.
playing at Southampton. Still playing at Southampton.
So we will go on. Brad, are you around tonight?
No, I think by 9 o'clock tonight, will be into one of my. I think I've got 6 cans left now, so I'll be quite well into that. I would say.
You're slightly under the weather.
Anyway,
I mean, I might change my mind. What are you doing tonight at 9 o'clock?
We're doing the Cockerel Clock, not Cock Clock podcast, which is our weekly look at Tottenham, and we're looking ahead to the games tomorrow. So we are back on at 9. Philip needs to go because Philip needs to go and bang his drums. Brad needs to go and up and under tinny. And me, well, I'm going to go and meditate about Harry Kane and Bayern Munich. But we always leave you with one thing, don't we, Philip?
Yes.
It's Fred. Now, as it's the first around the grounds this season.
Whoa, sorry. A goal at Southampton. It's Southampton 4, Norwich 4.
Fuck.
A penalty. Adam Armstrong with a 7th minute of injury time penalty. What a game. What a game.
Now, we always give this to guests, but Brad, as it's the first around the grounds back, the name may change actually in the next week, or by next week, it may change a little bit. What is Fred up to today? We usually show Fred, so what is Fred up to today?
I think he's joining Galatasaray, isn't he, or something?
No, Fred. Right. Fred,
this is Fred.
Just watch this, Brad. Just watch. What's Fred up to today, Philip?
What is he? He's Arsenal. It's Lego Man when he realizes Arsenal are not top of the league anymore.
And on that,
do you know what that means now? Spurs need to go 4-0 tomorrow, and we'll be top of the league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, on that breaking
range of things have happened.
It is all over very quickly. Arsenal 2, Forest 1, Bournemouth 1, Bournemouth 1, West Ham 1, Brighton 4, Luton 0, Everton Fulham.
It's full time at Cardiff. Sorry.
Yeah, Sheffield United 0, Crystal Palace 1. They are all the Premier League results. We are back tonight at 9 with a Cockle Clock podcast. Myself and Philip. Maybe Brad would join us half sozzled. Maybe he won't be. But tucking into another tinny. Whatever you do, enjoy your afternoon. Come on, you Spurs. There is life after Harry Kane.